a beautiful structure meant to guide sailors home safely, a benevolent keeper who gladly hosted soldiers for a drink. But that kindness may have gotten him killed and left him forever tending the island's light. Is this just a creepy old building, or the eternal home to a restless soul? This week's episode is the Gibraltar Point Lighthouse.
A bump in the night, your heart fills with dread. Probably a murderer who wants you dead. It could be a ghost, a demon, or worse. Perhaps you're the victim of a witch's curse. It's hopeless, you're doomed. You'd call a priest if you could. You'd rather just listen to Sinisterhood.
Well, I was Googling something last night, and that is cost of living in Toronto. Because, boy, did Tommy and I fall in love with this city, and then in light of just the recent complete dumpster fire that is America right now, I was like, seems like a pretty good time to live in another country, and Toronto would be a great city.
It is one of the all-time top cities I've ever been to.
Yes.
It's gorgeous. We got to go on a boat, which is always my favorite thing when I go to a place. And there's Tim Hortons on every corner.
Dude, I would develop a problem with Tim Hortons,
Yes.
but I'm okay with that because of the healthcare and just the nice people.
Yes.
So gorgeous. We went over to the Toronto Islands, and I mean, there's just a lovely energy that's just circulating throughout everything. Also a nude beach. We didn't get to go. Tommy saw a wiener. We didn't. Rude. But that's just more reason for us to go back. And we've heard from several people since then that the nude beach is very fun. And you don't have to be nude. They don't judge. You can do whatever you want.
But I can be nude.
But you
if I
can
want to.
if you choose to be
Nice.
nude. Yes.
That's kind of, I think that's a bucket list for me. No, it doesn't have to be Toronto Beach, but I think a nude beach experience.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I
just
don't
want
need
to
to
see
do that.
after that deck of cards, the big pussy energy we got, the deck of cards.
Oh, that's true.
That encourages, one of those is to just let the sun shine on me. You know what I mean? Well, you can do the math in
Those
your head.
parts of me never see sun, so they would just burn right up. I don't think it would be comfortable. I'll get in the water nude, but I don't want to just be like, there's a lot of crevices for sand and stuff. I feel like that. It's like if somebody spills glitter in your house, you're never getting that out. I'd die with sand all up in me. So, but if that's your thing, Toronto's the place to go.
You got to go to Toronto. Yeah, I think it would you couldn't get it out. The shoes I wore in West Texas on our honeymoon still have dirt and dust. You know, like the dusty, anything like that.
That's just it.
That's what they look like now. Yeah, Toronto though. And we got to, there's just dispensaries you can go to. Marijuana's legal.
Just
you're
walk
just
right down the street, smoking a joint. Everybody's cool with it. Everyone was so friendly. I never saw any acts of aggression from anyone. Not even like people didn't even seem mildly irritated. Everyone was just very cool and chill.
And the weather was fantastic.
Oh, man.
It was, sunny, a nice breeze. It was a dream. This is where the Gibraltar Point Lighthouse is located on Toronto Island. And so taking the little ferry over there, we just walked on this little path that you can bike and walk on, and it's green and lush and so nice. And then when we got to a more populated area, it's just riding bicycles, kids playing with each other. They're running around on a jungle gym. They're playing chase.
There's an amusement park.
Yeah.
We got great food. There's a bunch of tiny little cafes, and there's beaches, and it's just seems like a dream come true. And then there's a whole artist community that lives there, and 100-year-old cottages that people still live in. So people do just live there. It's not just a vacation spot. And man, what a great place. And there was schools. And I said, imagine this is your life, and you get to grow up on this island and go to school here. Your whole worldview and life experience would be completely different than someone like us that grew up in a city in Texas. I mean, it's fascinating after several MCs walking around an island, what really strikes you.
We're look at that lighthouse. And the lighthouse is, I mean, it's still there for as long ago as it was built. It's so impressively standing. And of course, now everything is more digital. They don't use it as a functional lighthouse. There is a key to it, though. You can only employees can go in. We were not allowed to go in there, but we got up to the keyhole. We put our, our ghost microphone, AKA my app on my phone to get it to talk to us.
Yep.
So we'll talk about that in the show as well. But it was a really overall just a fantastic experience and very fun to go. It was our first international show.
It was. And what a way to pop that cherry. Is that an expression that we can use here?
I mean, you know what I said the other day when Paris asked about something he was making and he goes, what do you think the audience is going to do? I said, they're going to cream their jeans. He goes, why would you say that? I was like, because Christy said it. It was funny. So if we're using filthy metaphors, let's do it. I'm into it.
You gotta lean in. All right. Well, yeah, it was great. It was, I've never been to Canada, so everyone was so nice. The venue was so nice. Everyone was very accommodating, of course, because Canadians are just lovely people. So it was a great show, a great Judge Christie, all the grievances. And so, yeah, it was a ton of fun.
Isn't this one the grievance where someone at the beginning has a grievance? Because this was a theater, so we had a line. And then not only did someone else wait in line only to respond in a supportive fashion to the other grievance. And then later on, another party from an earlier grievance comes back. There's like callbacks.
Yeah.
It was
like
there
a
symphony.
It ended. Yes. I believe the end and the first are tied together. But yes, someone just stood in line to support someone else's grievance. That's Canada right there for you.
It was fantastic. Just a lovely place, lovely people. We can't say anything greater about it. And our name was on a marquee, which that was like in my dream notebook of like things I would like to see is our name up on a marquee with the actual physical, because the Royal Theater used to be a movie theater and it has these actual physical signs, and took a photo of it. It's my Twitter background photo because it's so meaningful to me. So that's where it happened, all in beautiful Toronto.
Yes, couldn't have happened in a nicer city. Well, this was a very interesting topic. It was spooky. There's true crime elements. We got to go visit it, which we always love to do. And it just kind of encompassed everything we like to do in live shows.
Yeah, and it's true. Yeah, you're right. It's the Toronto, they kind of say online, like it's the first unsolved murder and this mystery around it. And then, of course, that's going to cause some more lore to grow up around it. So, yeah, it had a little bit of everything. And we'll come back to Toronto someday and possibly never leave. I'm just kidding.
I mean,
you know me. I love Texas, but I will be back.
I'm okay with, I love Texas, but I'm also getting more comfortable with the idea of perhaps raising my children somewhere else
where it's not 150 degrees outside and the laws try to kill you.
Where our bodies are our own and we don't have to worry about our kids getting coming home from school every day.
And I saw a meme with, I don't know if it was a meme, it was just a picture of the Canadian equivalent of the Supreme Court, and they wear cool ass red robes with white trim. They're very classy. They look like maybe a very upscale Christmas choir. Okay. And I'm behind that. I love them. I love those robes.
Do they have powdered wigs or is it their own hair?
They weren't wearing them in the photo I saw, but that doesn't mean that they don't have them in an office
That's
somewhere.
True. There might just be an office of wigs. Their wig
open
office.
The door. Just head after head. I collect a new one.
What hair shall I choose today? Well, I don't know. Well, only time will tell. Or a Google search. We can figure that one out pretty easily. Well, we hope you all enjoy the show as much as we enjoyed doing it. And if you were there, thank you so much. You were a great audience. And we'll see you again soon. We have a show tonight. Yes. In Chicago, and then another one tomorrow on the 30th. Both Chicago shows, two totally different shows, both local topics that are very popular. And then on the 1st, we're going to be in Milwaukee, which I've never been, so I'm very excited.
We got to see the Bronze Fawns.
Going to see it, for sure. Absolutely.
Well, go to sinisterhood.com/live shows and get your tickets in. That way we can see you and you can bring your grievance to us. Hello. Thank you so much, Toronto. How's everybody doing tonight? Woo! Well, we heard that y'all skipped spring and we just rolled right into summer. And I'm a little sunburned, so I definitely, as our lovely hairstylist, we went and got a blowout right before this. She said, "We had one day of sun, and you soaked it all up." It's like, yes, I did. Sorry about
The
that.
weather's perfect. We love it. So I don't know if this is hot for y'all, but for us, it's like perfect weather.
On point,
Yes.
especially on point for tonight's show topic. So I'm going to give y'all a little intro. This is what I actually do when we record. I'll tell Christy, I'm going to give you a little intro.
Yeah. I say, please stop saying that every time. I know.
Well, a beautiful structure meant to guide sailors home safely, a benevolent keeper who gladly hosted soldiers for a drink, but that kindness may have gotten him killed and left him forever tending to the island's light. Is this just a spooky old building or the eternal home for a restless soul? Tonight's episode is the Gibraltar Point Lighthouse. So we got to visit this today.
It was beautiful. Is it called the Toronto Islands? Is that where we went?
I heard someone say the islands. I was like, I don't know. We don't know each other that well
We went to
enough.
the islands today, and it was gorgeous. We took a water taxi over there. Beautiful weather, beautiful everything. The island we just couldn't say, man, people live here.
This is nice.
This is where people live. It was amazing, and we did see the lighthouse.
Oh, yeah. We saw tons of stuff. A lot of people on those quad bikes. You gotta have faith in your family to get a quad bike because we talked about getting one, and Christy said, we'll sit in the back because we'll just have everyone else pedal. It's like, yeah, we would do that 100%.
Yeah. We saw a clothing optional beach.
Woo woo.
Yeah.
Oh, did we?
Tommy saw a pee-pee. We didn't. He did not alert us to it. Rude.
It was too late. It was
I know. He was
feet.
like, did y'all see that back there? And we're like, no, you gotta tell us when it's coming up.
He said, I just looked through the trees and I saw a penis. I was like, we wanted to see that. And it didn't even have to be particularly good anything. I always want to see something.
Yeah.
If I have the option of seeing something or not seeing it, I'm going to choose to see it. I'll deal with the trauma later with my therapist. That's fine.
Yeah. And we got some delicious Greek food.
Oh, I thought you were going
Mediterranean
to say we got some delicious marijuana chews.
Oh, we
which
did that,
We also
yeah.
did do that.
Well, you can just smoke joints here walking around. How fun is that?
I think you all know, and anybody who's interacted with me at all also knows that I'm all red-blooded American, but this is the land of the free. When you can spark up a joint walking down the street, I was like, where am I living? What is happening?
Great. We've been here 24 hours and we've been to 2 dispensaries. And then I was like, man, how do you set yourself apart? Because I was like, y'all gotta have gimmicks. And then I took it upon myself to rename some of the dispensaries because I feel like Hemispheres has really missed an opportunity and it should be Hemispheres. So if anybody works for Hemispheres, please pass that along. There was another one too. I don't remember. What did we go to last night?
We went to the Canna Cabana.
And then today we went to
Purple Circle.
Purple Circle.
Purple Circle.
Yeah.
I just like saying the names.
It was fun. Both places different, both great.
Oh, yeah, everything's great. It's just, I'm not going to say I'm addicted to marijuana because I'm not. And I think it's impossible to become that. But I think we're both addicted to Tim Hortons.
Oh my gosh. The Tim Hortons started in Columbus. And it has continued over the border.
The only other thing I've ever heard you talk about, as if the way that you talk about Tim Hortons is Diet Coke, and you are absolutely addicted to Diet Coke. And so just driving, she's like, if we pass a Tim Hortons, I'd love it if we could just get can we put search on the way? Can we search on the route? And you know what? We all went in and we all ordered it. We love them ice caps. They're so good.
The ice caps, yeah. Do y'all like it, or is it like, okay, y'all do, okay. Because there's stuff that we have, and it's like, man, it's fine, it's whatever. But I'm glad that it's a local thing that we also like.
We're in the know with cool local Canada stuff. And this was another cool thing. Going to the island, I loved being on the boat. I also love, if you're a water taxi driver, it's the most not only chill, but also supremely confident I've seen anyone, because they run those boats toward the wall at 60 kilometers, I guess, per hour.
Just heads up,
we don't understand your metric system. It's been an issue
since
we've been here.
We were driving in and we're looking, it says kilometers per hour or whatever. And Christy's like, in the outline, we talked about the lighthouse is 52 feet tall. So it's 16 meters. So 16 meters is 52 feet. And we're like, that's not helpful. She's like, but if you think about it, then that means 52 feet is 16 meters. Like, still not helpful.
It is, though. It's a conversion. It was just an odd one. Normally, it's like in the elevators at the hotel.
No.
2 meters equals 6 feet. Also helpful.
Don't talk about the elevators.
Oh, well.
What happened
Here's the
was-
thing when you can just openly smoke on the streets is we go to, what was it called?
Canna Cabana.
Canna Cabana last night. Lovely gentleman, frazzled. He was having a night. It was packed.
It was a
too.
fire sale.
It was wild. But then on the way back, we're like, oh, we can just like smoke this. Like, it's not a big deal. Well, by the time we got to the hotel, when you get off the elevator at the hotel, our rooms are like right in front of the elevator. So we get to our floor and the doors open. This is on me because I did not involve myself as soon as I had in what was happening.
It's also on me because you all said, because as my whole life, I'm the dorky little sister who's not like the cool marijuana smoker. So everyone kept going, Heather, take it easy. Heather doesn't take anything easy. Heather takes everything so hard. And if one is good, 1,000 is better. And so, yeah, that was on me, that I was just leading the charge out of the elevator, and I should not have been.
And they open, and she goes, wait, this isn't our floor. And we're like, we're on floor 7. No, this isn't us. Something's happened. So we have to get back in the elevator, go all the way down to the lobby, and then we get there, I go, what happened? What are we even doing? Because I wasn't paying attention. She's like, we didn't open. I go, Heather, there's multiple elevators on the floor. Like, we just didn't open at the one in front of our door.
Yeah, there was a bank of 4 elevators. Our door was in front of the one on the far left. We were in the elevator on the far right, and I was very convinced that our door was gone. I just got out, and I was like, no, this isn't the floor. I was like, we must have gotten on the wrong side of the elevator. And they're like, well, there's only one side, so it's probably not that. I was like, no, the door's in the back open. They're like, no, they don't. They don't open.
Yeah, that's what she goes.
Was like, we
We
have to
got
hit
on
the
the wrong
rear
side. We go into the back. We're like, Heather, is this your first time in an elevator? Like, they're the
It's
same
stressful.
here
I was
as in America.
No, it's not. They're Canadian elevators. They're like, no, I was like, they go side to side and up and down. They don't though. They just go up and down.
I've been liking to reference everything as back in America. So I'm like, oh, is George still in America, or has he come over to Canada? Because we don't get to say that.
No, we don't get to say that at all. And also, just so you all know, you are in the presence of royalty. George Brown, Tommy's dad, Christy's father-in-law, the
He's
show
here.
dad is here.
He's
Give it
in
up
the
for George
house.
Brown.
Give it up for George Brown.
Amazing.
Tommy Brown is also
Tommy
here.
Brown's in the house. Paris Brown's not in the house, so let's boo him. No, I'm kidding. He's fine. He's very sweet. And
Boo,
sending-
Samsung. Yeah, but we had a great time today. We can't wait to tell you about it, and we can't wait to tell you about this lighthouse. Has anyone, round of applause, have you been to the lighthouse? Do you know of the lighthouse? Okay.
Have you been to the island? Yeah.
Okay.
There was a lot of people on the island, like, first of all, the optional nude beach, but also just like playing volleyball, kayaking, grilling out, having
saw
snacks,
somebody
whatever.
jump out of a kayak. We all
Yikes.
just stood there and watched, like, God, I hope he gets back in. He did.
They did.
But we were zero help.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
he made it.
What
Yeah.
were we gonna do?
I don't know. We were way too far offshore. It's like, just yell support from afar.
But yeah, I don't know if I went to the island if necessarily, absent now knowing what I know about it, I would be like, oh yeah, let's just get off of the boob beach and go over to see this cool lighthouse that's hidden in the woods. So I get it. If you've been to the island but not the lighthouse, now's your chance. Now when you go back,
Next time you go,
know.
now you're like, oh, I'm going to go to that haunted lighthouse now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Christy.
I'm Heather.
And let's get into it. Thank you. Oh, wait. You haven't met Baby.
Oh, sorry. We should
This
explain
is
this.
Baby. It's Baby. So in Columbus, a listener gave this to us. It is Mothman. And we said, oh, did you make this? And she goes, no, a friend of ours did. She's not a fan. And we went, okay. And she was like, she doesn't listen to any podcast. It sounded personal. It wasn't. And she has an Etsy store and makes these. So Baby is now our little tour mascot and has been sitting with us each evening. We're TBD if it's haunted. Probably so.
It's cursed for sure. Looking at it. But what that's so you're Christy. I'm Heather, and this is Baby.
And this is Baby. Yeah, and we're going to get into it now that we've made Baby's formal introduction. The Blue Jays, the Raptors, the CN Tower. Woo it up for, this is y'all's city. This is a city, right? We're in a city?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
we're in the city.
I don't know what a province is. I just know we don't have them.
I told you I go Dallas is Toronto, and Ontario is Texas, and
that-
Canada
okay.
is USA.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
I
there
was
you go.
like, but what about Canada? She had to break it all the way down.
Zooming out. We're zooming out.
Well, P-meal bacon sandwiches? Is that a thing? We Googled, what's Toronto about? And then we found out, and we have not seen these yet, but I'm going to have to try one of these.
Got to.
So DM us if you got a favorite P-meal bacon sandwich place. Tim Hortons and the world-renowned International Film Festival. Toronto is known for many things, but none more so than its diversity. Nearly half of the city's population was born outside of Canada, and more than 136 languages are spoken throughout Ontario's capital city. Rightfully so, Torontonians advertise their city's diversity with pride, welcoming all with the city's official motto.
In diversity or strength?
Oh, is that your Canadian accent?
Trying.
One shining gem of the already beautiful city is the Gibraltar Point Lighthouse, located on the Toronto Islands, a short 15-minute ferry ride from downtown. More than just a beacon of safety, an air of mysterious lore has developed around lighthouses and their keepers, and the Gibraltar Point Lighthouse is no different. The solitary nature of the lighthouse keeper's life means hours alone, little contact with the mainland, and in the case of Gibraltar Point, murder.
I do think I could never be a lighthouse keeper because I do like attention, talking to other people,
Do like
interaction
attention.
with strangers. I love,
Your boat can't pass until you pay me a compliment.
like, let's talk. What are you guys up to? And they're like, we just need to go and talk. I would be terrible at that. But I can imagine if you really wanted a solitary life, this is a freaking dream
to
job.
live on an island, gorgeous view.
For sure.
You have a big responsibility.
Yes.
But with great reward comes great power. The reward is you're living on a beautiful island.
Absolutely.
And if you don't like people, that you don't have to deal with people.
there you go. You just have to deal with boats.
In 1793, the first lieutenant governor of Upper Canada, John Graves Simcoe, was making changes to the area now known as Toronto. He moved the province's capital to the area then known as York to fortify it against Canada's rowdy neighbors to the south. We're sorry, you guys. It's us, the Americans. First construction was completed on Fort York, situated on the mainland. The nearby peninsula was called Gibraltar Point by Simcoe, as he had hopes the place could be
Fortified so as to be impregnable.
according to lighthouse friends.
No one's getting that place pregnant. You can try.
Lighthouse Friends' publication, it's not our friends that we met at the lighthouse that we've just quoted, although we didn't meet any people at the lighthouse today, did we?
Well, no living people.
That's true. Yeah.
I pulled out the ghost hunting apps. We got some ghost hunting apps going on.
We pulled out the Oculus, the Apple Store app that.
Ovulus.
Oh.
Oculus lets you see 3D.
That's right.
We got the Ovulus, and I also found one that was the M2 Ghost Hunter Extreme.
Whoa.
Like 4 different buttons on it. Yeah, so I'll share with you my results.
I'm gonna guess bacon was on there. We have yet to use it when we don't get bacon.
Shockingly.
Oh, well, and if there was a bacon sandwich around, now it makes sense.
Well, you'll find out, won't you?
The lighthouse was completed in 1808. Initially a 16-meter, or if you're from where we are, that's 52 feet. A hexagonal structure, the lighthouse is comprised of limestone sourced from Canada and was the first stone building in Toronto. In 1832, the lighthouse was raised to 82 feet in total. Sorry, I didn't convert that to meters for you guys, but you probably know. For nearly 50 years, it was the tallest building in Toronto. According to the CBC, the initial lantern that kept ships on course burned sperm whale oil.
There's only one way to get that oil.
We all know, what an unfortunate name for an animal.
You know?
Of all the things you could be called, don't put sperm in the front of it.
Not in front.
John P. Rademuller was hired as the lighthouse's first keeper. He served from July 24th, 1809 until January 2nd, 1815. He was entrusted to the post by the lieutenant governor at the time, after having spent most of his career first as a farmer, then as a servant to the English royal family. His job as the keeper was to light the lamp every evening. At the first sign of dawn, he would extinguish the flame until later that night. Additionally, he was in charge of signaling the city every time a big ship pulled into the harbor, according to Spacing Toronto.
Yeah, this man had a fascinating life. I mean, you start off as a farmer, which he loved. That was his number one dream. And then just sort of stumbled into the career as being the number one go-to guy traveling with the English royal family. And then the guy that he was traveling with a lot got sick and then didn't travel anymore. And so he ended up in Canada and was like, I just need some land to farm again. And they were like, we have something it's like farming, but hear me out.
Instead of a living animal, it's just a building.
Yes,
that you have to make sure that you maintain.
Instead of putting water.
But it's on gorgeous farmland.
It's true. That's true.
In Lighthouse Logs, Rademuller wrote of his love for life on the island, according to Creepy Canada. After a year at his post, Rademuller met a woman named Magdalene in 1810. The two married at St. James, Toronto's first church. Not long after, the couple welcomed a baby girl named Arabella. The three began a happy and quaint life in the 1.5-story log cabin on the lighthouse grounds.
Have any of you watched the television show, I believe it is no longer on the air, called Creepy Canada? Woo, if you've heard of this. It struck me as a bit of like an unsolved mysteries, maybe like a beyond belief fact or fiction, but all the stories are from Canada. And I was like, I have to binge watch this now.
Everyone's very nice.
And extremely awesome reenactments, including this whole ass story is reenacted.
Rademuller's peaceful life on the island came to an abrupt halt when the War of 1812 broke out. The Great Lakes became a key battleground, and maintaining control of Lake Ontario became of the utmost importance. For 3 years, Rademuller bravely manned the lighthouse, ensuring the British fleet remained safe from running aground. On Christmas Eve 1914, the Treaty of Ghent was signed between the U.S. and the UK, effectively ending the war. Because the treaty was signed in what is now known as Belgium, news that the war was over did not reach Toronto for nearly a month. Tragically, Rademuller would be sent to his grave, never knowing the war had ended.
Ain't that about a bitch?
Mm-hmm.
Back then, shit did not get anywhere forever.
No, yeah, you could have like a full-ass baby and not know.
Nobody would know.
You would know, but
That's true, yeah.
The father
delivery
would not know that the baby had been born until it was, or somebody dies, you don't know for months. A war ends.
No, but you're just, the war is still going on, but it isn't. You're like, what are we fighting for?
It's Schrodinger's cat.
Schrodinger's
like in one world, the war is still going on. We take for advantage how quickly T-Mobile has fucked me. And I have not had Wi-Fi since we crossed over. It's been a whole thing. But I'm so inconvenienced because I don't have at my fingertips anything I want. But they had to wait months just to get word.
You can receive and make phone calls, but that's like you're pretty much
and I'm still bitching about it.
But that's it. But who wants to receive a phone call?
No, never, unless something is super wrong.
Yeah.
If my phone rings, it better be an emergency. But no, it's just people wanting to buy my house or get me to vote for them.
Nah.
During the war, a military blockhouse had been built not far from the lighthouse. Here, soldiers from Fort York kept watch over the harbor, ready to defend it should the Americans attack. During their downtime, the soldiers would often visit Rademuller to imbibe in his homemade beer. For in addition to running the lighthouse, he also supplemented his income by brewing and selling his own German-style beer, according to the CBC.
He was beer brewing before it was trendy.
Yeah, he was the original hipster.
Yeah, I think that was one of like the pandemic. People were making bread. They were making their own brews.
Cross-stitching.
What is more like quarantine back then than just being stuck on a lighthouse in the middle of a war that's over that you don't know about?
Yeah.
He's
no,
like, oh, fuck, it's
time
still
is
going.
meaningless and a flat circle. This could be now.
This could be now. He's like, my phone stopped working. I don't know what's going on there. Fuck it. I'm going to make beer in my tub and share it with people.
Would you like some of my homemade brew? I brewed it myself in our bathroom. Yes, I would love some. But if the soldiers were there and there was nothing to do, man, you'd be dumb not to.
You ever drank homemade moonshine?
I have.
It's good stuff. Man, it'll burn the
Yeah, it's straight rubbing
hair
alcohol.
off your lip.
It is.
It's rough.
Woo. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's good, but
No.
I have drank it before. It was given to me in a mason jar.
That's how you distribute it.
That's the only
I think
way
that's-
you can. I don't know if it was made in a bathtub, but probably. I was also given it on my way to go tube a river in Texas, so it could not have been more redneck than the whole scene was painted for moonshine.
The number one thing is like, I'm like, we don't talk different. We're like normal. We're just like everybody else. And it's like, I slugged the moonshine before I got on an inner tube and shot myself down a river. And it's like, well, maybe everybody's a little different. We share, and our diversity is our strength.
Don't we? Yes. Yeah.
Sinisterhood will be right back. For many of us, stress is just a regular feature of daily life. It's coming at us from all angles at this point.
Drinking from a fire hose.
It is indeed.
Well, when it gets more intense like this in a short time, stress can trigger physical reactions like dramatically increased hair shedding and thinning.
And what's wild is that people usually lose about 50% of their total hair before they even notice an increase in shedding. Now there's a way to stop stress-related hair loss in its tracks and spark new, stronger growth.
Pros specializes in custom hair care, and now they also make custom hair supplements that help reduce excess shedding and spark fuller, thicker hair growth with just 2 capsules a day. They're very easy to take. You just I take them with my breakfast, seeing significant changes, positive changes. I got fuller hair. My baby hair growth from having Simon is growing out faster than it would otherwise, so that's very nice.
Take it from Christy, they really work. Multiple studies show over 90% of women taking Pro's hair supplements saw less shedding, more growth, and overall improved appearance in just 90 days.
Try your own custom hair supplements and you'll get 15% off. Just get yours at pros.com/creepy.
That's PROSE.com/creepy for your free in-depth hair consultation and 15% off custom hair supplements. Do you want to hear something that's shocking? Since 2020, 2 out of 3 people report feeling extreme stress, and it's affecting their sleep and affecting their overall health.
These days, stress seems to hit us from every possible angle, especially right now, in any environment, at any time, day after day. Unfortunately, all that stress can have a serious impact on your immune, digestive, respiratory, and cardiovascular system.
Wouldn't it be nice if you just had an off switch? Enter Just Calm, the breakthrough new stress and mood support formula from Just Thrive. Yes, the same Just Thrive that produces our favorite probiotic.
Here's what makes Just Calm so radically different from anything you may have tried before. It's the first retail available supplement to feature the proprietary psychobiotic strain known as BL1714.
Psychobiotics are a new class of products that utilize beneficial bacteria to support your best mood, cognition, and emotional health. And BL1714 is the most heavily researched and scientifically verified strain available.
Imagine being able to turn down the noise and turn up the calm with one addition to your daily routine that takes just seconds to implement. And it's all natural.
With Just Calm, you'll have the power to take on the day feeling cool, collected, and in control. Paired with Just Thrive probiotics, this is one dynamic duo for proven gut, immune, and mood support to help you live your best life.
If you're ready to up your game and feel your best, you can get 15% off both Just Thrive Probiotic and Just Calm or any of their other scientifically proven products when you go to justthrivehealth.com and use code CREEPY at checkout.
Despite this under-the-table enterprise, local paper, the York Gazette, praised Rademuller, calling him an
inoffensive and benevolent character.
Edward Butts.
Hell yeah.
author of Murder, 12 True Stories of Homicide in Canada, echoed these sentiments, writing that Rademuller was
reasonably well educated, polite, humble, and quite public-minded. There's nothing more public-minded than just tub beer and sharing it with everybody.
And what's more, really, this is more American than Canadian, but then profiting off of stuff.
Absolutely.
And charging
everyone's
a couple
dream.
bucks for somebody to enjoy it.
Yeah, those hops don't grow themselves and buy themselves. He's gotta recover expenses.
Well, that benevolence may have been his undoing. There are several versions as to how Rademuller met his grisly end, the night of January 2nd, 1815. In one version of the story, 2 soldiers had been indulging in the drink at the keeper's cottage when Rademuller decided the duo had had enough and cut them off.
That is something that you don't think about, is that when you're the person that's distributing the tub brew, is that you have to now be responsible for cutting people off from slugging the tub brew.
You're the distributor and the owner of you're all of it. It's all on you.
Too many hats. He's got too many hats on.
Or, in contrast, you just don't cut people off.
It's up to you guys. You made this
guess so.
choice. Just let him slug it.
Another version of the story suggests the soldiers believed Rademuller had sold them watered-down booze after the bottles of beer froze during their frosty walk back to the blockhouse. Realizing this was due to a low alcohol content, the soldiers, feeling slighted, returned to the lighthouse to confront Rademuller. I mean, we've all been in both these situations. What's y'all's closing time? 2 a.m.?
2?
Yeah. Okay. See, some things. There's no borders for some things, guys.
We were driving through. We were like, "This is like bizarro America, but nice everything." She goes, "There's just not trash blowing all over the streets everywhere." I go, "It looks like somebody's power washed everything too."
Yeah. We're like, y'all's downtown is so nice. It's so clean. There's not trash just everywhere. And there's looks like they've cleaned the sidewalks.
Yeah.
It's so nice. Everybody's friendly.
That's like when you have a car and you don't wash it and you're like, "My car's a piece of shit," and your friend just washes their car and you're like, "Your car's nice," and it's like, "Yeah, we just take care of things here."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Why doesn't this look like this?" Well, yeah, you just take care of things here. But yeah, your closing time.
Closing time for us is also 2 a.m. We've all been there. It's 1:45.
Yeah.
You just want to get that last drink in. They're
you're
like,
like,
"Ma'am, your time is done. We've already closed you out." But also, have you ever gotten a drink and gone back up to the bartender and you're like, did you forget to put the alcohol in this?
I would there's a meme that goes around that says I don't understand how lawyers can argue with each other without crying. And I'm like, yeah, right. I don't do that anymore. I do comedy now. The same way, I'm so non-confrontational that I would just drink if it was supposed
you would drink. You'd be like, "Oh, is this
fine.
vodka?
It's fine.
Oh, it tastes like water.
fine.
I'll just keep drinking it
fine.
though."
And since I met you, and now I tell you, I have a tiny Christy that sits on my shoulder, and all it does is tell me to stand up for myself and be like, so something with the wedding wasn't exactly, it was one of the vendors who ended up being very nice, but something at the time wasn't quite what I asked it. And I was like, it's fine. And then there was a tiny Christy on my shoulder going, it ain't fine. You asked for this. They did not deliver that. Tell them.
You
tell
paid
them,
money
please.
for it.
You paid good money for it. And I was like... And then I was like, "Excuse me, I would like to ask a question about this thing that we decided." And they were like, "Oh my God, yeah, you're totally right." And I was like, "Thank you so much." And the tiny Christy on my shoulder was like, "Good for you." So
Did it. Proud of you. Well, so that being said, you would not go back up to a bartender.
Maybe now I would be like, "Excuse me, I would like to ask you a question about this drink that you have made for me." But but I don't really go to bars anymore. In my younger partying days, I just would have been like, whatever. Back then, though, I was ordering, you guys.
What was your drink?
Crown Royal, peach schnapps, and cranberry juice. And I wonder why I ended up Ralphing in a CVS bag in my boyfriend's Dodge Ram outside. And it was like, why would I ever?
None of those things go together,
I thought
really.
it was so cool. And then the only other person that I knew that what their drink order was my dad, and he always drank Budweiser, not Bud Light. And so I would go to the bar and be
Papa
like,
drink.
can I have
get
a
a
Budweiser?
Budweiser? And they're
Not
like-
Bud Light. And they're like, oh, you drinking diesel? Ooh, yikes. And I'm like, yeah, yikes. I'm like, oh, no.
And you take one sip, you're like, oh my God. Yeah, it goes down rough. And
goes
you light
down
up
rough.
a Marlboro Red.
Hell yeah.
Now we're getting into my history.
Swisher Sweets. I was Swisher Sweets.
Last night, you mentioned Swisher Sweets. You go, man, this reminds me about the time I smoked what are they called? Swisher Sweets? And I was like, oh, yeah, Heather. They are called that.
I was a wild 19-year-old working at the Magic Time Machine.
Man.
Anyway.
Anyways, yeah. While there are no records to confirm this is what happened, Richard Fiennes Clinton, a guide with Muddy York Tours, said in an interview on CBC Radio's Here and Now, these versions of the legend seem reasonable.
It was just after New Year's Eve. The harbor very well could have been frozen. It was very, very cold. There wouldn't have been much else to do. And certainly drinking the night away seems like it might have been a possibility.
What nobody knows is that later became who sings Tub Thumping?
Chumbawamba.
Chumbawamba, yeah. Y'all know Chumbawamba here? Is that just an... Okay. All right, I'm totally kidding. Today, this is how stupid I am. We're getting our hair done, and I go, oh, they have the same music we do. As if y'all wouldn't for whatever reason.
They have the music that we love, including Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
I'm now a believer. I've been
Yeah,
converted.
we went to the Justin. Yeah, he is one of yours. We went to his concert a few weeks ago. Heather got me tickets for my birthday. We're just a couple years away, you guys, from full-on revival. Full-on Bieber revival. He's making the switch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But it didn't seem to. There was a lot of religious undertones. But man, those gals behind us did not.
Oh, no.
They were just slugging the Trulies, the Bud Lights, and then one girl goes, "I am so fucked up, Rihanna." And then on stage, he's like, "God will take care of us. God is here for us. He's
Take
you know
off
what?
your shirt,
Yeah.
Justin.
I heard her go,
We're like, he's not about that life anymore. Read the room.
and he's just like, "If you have God holds you close, He holds you close." And the girl behind us goes, "Yes." And I was like, did someone hand her a Truly, or she felt the Lord's Spirit, or both? Who knows?
She knew every word to every song. No exception.
baby, baby.
But she didn't sing. It was just that. It's so loud.
On God, coming to the altar like a track star. I was like, oh my God.
It was a lot. It was a long 2.5 hours.
Oh, I
wonder. It was, yeah. But now I'm so fucked up Brianna has become part of our vernacular, which we love. So we got that out of it.
Thanks,
and
Justin.
Heather met some lovely people outside that were protesting the concert. And it was all for God stuff. And we're like, y'all need to go see the show because he's doing what y'all are doing. Like, y'all are
They
on
were
the
doubling
same
up the
page.
efforts. They were doubling up efforts.
They didn't do their due diligence. They're just protesting anybody that sings rock and roll. Little do they know, Biebs, nice. Y'all have seen his documentary. You have to, right? He has several, but I've seen it twice, and I sobbed like a baby in the theater watching it, as did Tommy. We took his younger sister. She was like, what's wrong with y'all? And then the next week, Tommy, on his own, took his best friend. We were like in our 30s when this happened, middle 20s, and went and took his best friend to see
Can't
it.
get
That's
enough.
how much we loved it.
You got bathed in that Bieber love.
Oh, he's so good.
Yeah, that was what a night. What a night.
You got
were
Drake?
converted. Yeah, yeah.
Y'all like Drake? Yeah.
Drake.
Who else is Canadian?
Shout out your favorite Canadian. Celine Dion.
Celine Dion.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot
Oh,
about
man.
her.
Shania. How do I
yeah,
forget
you got
Shania? The queen.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
forgot
that's true.
about that. Regardless of their purpose, 52-year-old Rademüller was on the receiving end of the soldiers' rage that night. Creepy Canada reported the keeper was first beaten, then attacked with an axe, presumably while his wife and young daughter slept in the nearby cabin, although there are no records of their whereabouts. Other versions of the story have Rademüller chased to the top of the 16-meter lighthouse by the soldiers, that's 52 feet, by the soldiers who then tossed him over the railing. The soldiers, wanting to avoid being caught, then took his body, dismembered it with an axe, and buried it in pieces around the island, keeping the authorities from discovering it. Though no body was found, the York Gazette reported,
From circumstances, there are moral proof of Rademüller having been murdered.
So next time you're out enjoying your new beach, just keep in mind that there's body parts buried all around that island under all those beautiful tulips you guys have.
And on the beach, the body parts are all out. They're not buried anywhere. Not buried under nothing.
I'm not burying it in a banana hammock. I'm not burying it in a one piece.
Nope. 1 piece, 2 piece, no piece.
No piece. The two soldiers ran, but were eventually caught. Even without a body, when they were finally found, the pair was arrested. Researcher Eamon O'Keefe pulled the scant court records available from the time, which reportedly showed two soldiers tried for the crime, John Henry and John Blumen, who in some records is called John Blowman.
I think I would go with Blumen if I had to choose.
This is very Tobias.
Yes, they're like, are you John Blowman? And he's like, you spelled it wrong, actually. It's Blumen. But also back then, and up until the mid-70s, maybe later, it was just real easy to just decide you were someone else and just change your name. This case, he went from Blowman to Blumen, whichever. That was only a few different letters. You could just change your name, tell people you were from anywhere. That's why these two soldiers took off running, because you make it far enough and you just go like, oh yeah, I was born a couple ways away. Anyway, I'm
There's no records.
I'm a dentist.
Nobody can Google anything.
I guess. And they're like, okay, yeah, he's a dentist now. He's a dentist in town.
I learned when I was getting my passport to come here that if you just go by a name and you're like addressed by it and you sign your name that way for 4 years, you can just, it's grandfathered in. You don't even have to go get it changed.
That's loose.
You just start going by that. Yeah.
That is loose.
So, I mean, what is your Church of the Subgenius name?
Oh, Dr. Sharky Blowman. It's a new one.
It is now.
It's a new one.
You just start going by that in 4 years when we come back. It's going to be,
I'm
please
Christy.
welcome to the stage, Christy Lawson, Dr. Sharky Blowman.
That's right.
At the trial, fellow soldiers and the coroner all testified. The records from the trial give no reason, but the newspaper reports printed the headline on April 15th, 1815.
No conviction of the supposed murderers of the late J.P. Radamuller.
Wow.
That was it, man. They said there were some...
You don't have DNA. You don't have a body. You got a bunch of soldiers saying, no, we know where they were. What are you going to do?
Yeah, if you got your fellow, everybody hanging out together in the troops. They're called troops and they're in a battalion. My bad. But, everybody in the battalion, they're all going to vouch for you. So you got no body and you got a bunch of friends saying you're legit. I think it's a one-way ticket to getting off. Not in that way. Nope. I meant not getting convicted. But John Blowman can do whatever he wants. After he can celebrate privately.
A few years later, the Durnan family began its nearly century-long care for the Point Lighthouse. Beginning in 1822, James Durnan manned the lamp and kept his post until 1854. After that, his son George took over and served until 1904. It was during George's time in charge that he encountered the former keeper in both physical and spiritual form. According to Creepy Canada, George's encounters with the supernatural began inside the lighthouse itself, specifically on the stairwell. George would hear footsteps, head to check them out, but each time he found the staircase empty. Time and again he would hear the steps, but never once found anyone there.
I think, again, if you work in a place that you're by yourself, that is prime time. And when I work from home, our job mostly when we're not traveling, we're at home, the times that Paris has to go to the office, I think I hear things, but I have technology of cameras to check, or I have dogs around. You open that, it's 100 stairs at the top of that lighthouse by yourself, and there's no windows on the way up all the time.
That's a long track down to see if anyone's there, too.
God damn, you're like, and no one's even tracking your steps. You don't even get credit for on your Fitbit.
You're like Fitbit to even tell you like good job or give you awards and stuff. The lighthouse, it's locked, so we couldn't go in it. But it's just, we were both like, seems like it should be taller. But I guess maybe trees were shorter back then.
You said that it used to be, and the sign says it used to be a little bit closer to the
did,
water, but
yes.
the water has receded. We were also like, isn't it amazing that the Toronto Islands used to be part of kind of all one big, it was a peninsula, but then,
the winds came and blew them apart.
And Christy goes, it's Pangea.
I did.
It's Pangea.
I-
So they struck again.
One of
Pangea
my
got us.
top 5 favorite words is Pangea.
It's right up there.
And if Heather's this bucket. We
I love Bucket.
figured this out the other day. She loves Bucket.
We were at a place called a Rusty Bucket, which sounds like something John Blum does, but that's Pangea. That was the
I
explanation.
make a Pangea joke whenever I can. So it's very similar. Well, George's encounters became more startling. One day as he was maintaining the lighthouse from its highest point, he looked down at the grass below and saw a man standing there. Not a normal visitor to the island. This man had both of his arms hacked off, leaving only bloody stumps on either side. Seeing the man so badly injured, George ran to help. By the time he made it down to the grounds to investigate what he'd seen, the man had vanished.
That's not what you want to see.
No, I mean, but I think Bess, did you want to deal with that though? Aren't you kind of like, whew.
I think George Durnan plays the hand he's dealt, and he's like, well, this is what I'm doing today.
This is what
Thought
and
I was
that's
just filling
so
this
many
baby up
questions?
with sperm whale oil. Turns out I'm going to be triaging somebody down, but it was a goddamn ghost.
George continued his work on the grounds and in the lighthouse, but his once peaceful job had taken on an eerie feeling. Now when George found himself working alone up in the lighthouse's peak, he felt as if he was being watched. Soon that nagging suspicion was confirmed when George turned around to see the same man from before now standing in front of him. Again, the man disappeared. He's getting braver.
The ghost ran up the
getting
lighthouse
closer.
steps. He made the trek.
If he runs up all those steps, give him a minute.
Yeah.
It's like an elevator pitch. If you came all this way, we'll listen to you.
You get 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Go.
The third and final time George encountered the spirit was in 1904. It was as he was conducting maintenance on the lighthouse. This time when he looked up, he saw the bloodied man standing a few yards away from him in the field. According to Creepy Canada, George got the unshakable feeling that the specter wanted him to follow. The mortal lighthouse keeper acquiesced and soon found himself standing in a dirt patch near the apple orchard, about 150 meters to the west of the lighthouse. He began to dig, first coming upon a bootlegger's bottle, according to Creepy Canada. Then he found something more grisly, a human jawbone.
If a specter asks you to follow it, you
Or
say
telepathically
no.
tells you to follow it.
Any of that.
You don't?
Say no.
You don't do it?
I
would.
mean-
I gotta see what they gotta say.
Well, then you're going to be coming upon a jawbone.
And then I could get a podcast episode written about me.
That's right.
That's centuries later. Heather went to the lighthouse and tried to pace out where this would have been.
Yeah, the apple orchard.
And then use the app.
Well, we did. Oh, we got our app.
What kind of readings did we get?
When I got over there, I got the word recuse and away. And George suggested that maybe it meant it wanted me to, I thought it meant it wanted me to just fuck off, which I was like, I'm so sorry, I will leave. But he was like, maybe it wanted you to go, like I was too far away and it wanted me to come back the other way.
George's nephew John, who grew up around the lighthouse, gave an interview to the CBC in 1958 to discuss his and his family's experience on the grounds. Pointing to a spot, he told the interviewer,
That's the apple orchard where some of our family dug up the bones of the old lighthouse keeper that was murdered.
the accent's getting better, I think.
I love this fella. He, just with all the utmost sincerity, this whole interview, it's from the CBC archives. And the reporter in 1958 took this assignment and treated it like the assignment of a lifetime. It was the assignment of
We're
his
talking
career.
about it.
Oh, I loved it. He was so serious. And everyone just did the interviews. Again, it was just this kindness of like, oh yeah, I'll talk to you about it. Sure, absolutely. And John being one of them, he's the lighthouse family. They got it in their bones.
According to the CBC, after George found the bones, he reburied them, though the site of the second grave is unknown. After giving the bones a more proper burial, George still saw Radamuller strolling the grounds, but after the reburial, his ghost appeared to George with his arms fully intact.
And I wonder too, as one of our previous tour topics, which was more supernatural, if there was some issue that he had with having an improper burial, that could cause people to, cause a spirit to linger. And once it is put to rest as it should be, now he's not haunting the island because
not
he's got a
looking for his
problem.
hands.
Now he's just retired in a place that he loved.
Yeah. Now he can relax. He doesn't have to go around looking for his hands anymore. In 1959, the lighthouse was lit for the final time. In anticipation for extinguishing the flame, then keeper Dee Dee Dodds told the CBC,
I wonder with the new light if the old legend will die. Well, that was 1959, and it's 2022.
and it has not.
Nope, despite all hope.
Upon the decommissioning of the lighthouse, it was designated as a historical monument with a plaque reading,
The mysterious disappearance of its first keeper, J.P. Rademuller, in 1815, and the subsequent discovery nearby of part of a human skeleton enhanced its reputation as a haunted building.
According to the Toronto Book of the Dead, officials at the time were split on whether to include reference to a ghost on a historical plaque, with one saying,
I can't see it would make the place attractive to children.
You've never met my daughter, who would only want to go to a historical place if there was a chance there was a ghost there.
She'd be like, is it spooky? Well, not really. Oh, never mind. We're
No,
good.
then pass, hard
Like,
pass.
yes, it's very spooky.
According to the CBC,
Literally hundreds of people reported ghostly, paranormal happenings in and around the light.
these ran the gamut from shadowy figures to unexplained lights in the window to strange blood on the staircase. Keeper in the 1950s, Dee Dee Dodds, told the CBC,
I've been lighthouse keeper for 2 years and lived here for around 7. There may be a ghost. I've never met the ghost, but I can understand how the legend persists.
at least she doesn't poo-poo the whole idea.
No, I'm telling you,
She's
every
like,
single...
I haven't seen it, but that doesn't mean it's not here.
Absolutely, and the same with the keeper's grandson was like, well, yes, people say it, so I'm not going to dismiss their opinions. And you're like, okay,
Yeah, and unlike in America, where it's like, I haven't seen it, so it don't exist.
it ain't real. None of it's real.
Unless I can touch it, unless I can hunt it, it ain't a thing. We can say these things because we are these things. We
Yes,
are
it's
not
just-
these things, but we're from the land of the free. Yeah. According to the Toronto Book of the Dead by Adam Bunch, Rademuller's ghost materializes in multiple ways. Some have heard him groaning in the night. Others, like George Dernan, have heard footsteps in the lighthouse staircase or seen Rademuller's spirit wandering the grounds, either with his arms attached or missing. A common place to spot the ghost is on stormy nights. According to Haunted Toronto by John Robert Colombo, Rademuller's ghastly figure can be seen ascending, then descending the stairs, forever caring for his beloved lighthouse.
He's got to get those steps in. He's got his Fitbit, finally.
He has, 10,000 steps is how many you're supposed to do in a day?
That's a good goal. It's a
You
good goal.
I mean, you've like maxed out for the week, day one, going up and down.
100 stairs.
Park supervisor for the islands, Warren Hoselton, isn't as convinced Rademuller's ghost still lingers. Hoselton told the Toronto Star,
I don't think there's been anything concrete on the findings. If the lighthouse is occupied by a spirit, they must be a real friendly one because you wouldn't even know they're here. They're very well behaved.
well, what would he think?
I...
Hoselton is a very Canadian sounding name.
Hoselton's a character I love. He's one that said that folks came and tried to do an exorcism on the lighthouse, and he said, "Dude, we're good. We're okay." He said
Like,
they
but
wanted.
we want to put salt around it. He's like, please don't. 'Cause
Yeah.
then I
Oh.
got to sweep that up.
No,
Don't
I'm
do that.
good. I'm good.
Well, we went to the lighthouse. We couldn't go in it. We touched it.
Yes,
Because,
we touched it, and we're not the only ones. There were
other people there.
Yeah, I mean, we were trying to get the spirit box to work. We were trying to get like the my app that I downloaded, which had a lot of buttons on it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, just a lot of buttons.
What words did we get up next to it?
So yeah, what that I got up next to it was recuse and away was when I was far away, and then when I was up there, I got the word prayer and come. So, you tell me. I put it up next to like the keyhole because I thought if he's whispering,
Yeah, she had it like up in the door, like if people wanted to come up to take a picture, Heather was like right where anybody would take a picture, just with her cell phone shoved in the door.
I was like, let me
Trying
just
to get a
get
ghost
it like
reading.
up in here. And you know what? He said come. So if I would have had a key, I would have.
It was fun, though. We had a great time.
Yeah.
We could have seen more. There was an amusement park.
Yes, there was a Subway, just open air Subway sandwich shop. I was like, oh, you could just eat Subway outside.
I believe there was barbecue.
Yeah, there
How's
was.
y'all's barbecue here? Yeah. I
great.
mean, you got everything else that we don't. So we'll take that one thing. We've got better queso and barbecue.
Right. Sinisterhood will be right back.
John Hamm leads an all-star cast in The Big Lie, a riveting new Audible original.
The story takes place in 1953 during the Cold War when hysteria spread throughout the country over the fear of communism.
Hamm plays FBI Special Agent Jack Bergen, who will stop at nothing to shut down production of a film being made in New Mexico by 3 members of the Hollywood blacklist.
A remote mining town becomes a powder keg of racial and political tensions during the production of the film, with the FBI lighting the fuse.
The Big Lie is an explosive tale of conspiracy, betrayal, and temptation. The cinematic Audible original is presented in 7 episodes with a lush, period-specific score by renowned musician David Mansfield and features top-notch performances from a stellar cast.
The cast also includes Kate Mara, Anna de la Reguera, Bradley Whitford, John Slattery, Giancarlo Esposito, and David Strathern.
The Big Lie is created by John Mankiewicz. Visit audible.com/thebiglie and listen on Audible.
To this day, the Gibraltar Point Lighthouse is the oldest existing lighthouse on the Great Lakes. Even more impressive, it is the oldest building in Toronto that remains standing in the place it was originally built, according to Spacing Toronto. It should be noted, though, that while the original lighthouse stood a little less than 8 meters, or 25 feet, from the shore, receding water lines now place it closer to 100 meters inland. The island remains a popular vacation destination that offers swimming, kayaking, bicycling, large grassy areas to enjoy a picnic, an amusement park, and even a clothing-optional beach.
It was beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous. And I think we did not see housing, but I think people live there. Do people live there? Yeah. And we were just walking around real high, and I was like, imagine like you grew up here. Like how different of a life that is compared to like growing up in a city and like you're just on the island, everybody's dating each other, everybody knows everybody's business. But you got like this beautiful scenery everywhere.
You're like, on the island there are no secrets, but there is a school. I was like, that would be such a nice place to go to school.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's a ghost or no ghost, and it sounds like he's more at peace now. And I mean, he was hankering for a visitor, if I had to guess. But I think it's a lovely, relaxing place with this just like nice. It has a nice foot in the past.
The girl that did my hair today said she goes every weekend.
Oh, that's a
And
party
I said,
place.
so is it a place where like locals go a lot? And she was like, oh yeah, the beach is great. So it seemed like it's the place to be.
If I had to wander the grounds for eternity, that's where I would pick for sure.
Yeah,
just
for sure.
looping.
Although the lighthouse is no longer in operation, it still has a keeper. In 1999, a German fellow by the name of Manuel Kappel volunteered to look after the lighthouse, according to the Torontoist. Kappel has become accustomed to the droves of people that flock to the island to experience the alleged haunted history for themselves. When asked the inevitable question by local tourists, locals, and paranormal enthusiasts that visit the lighthouse,
Is it really haunted?
Kappel told Spacing Toronto he always replies with the same answer.
It is if you want it to be.
What a nice thing. I mean, and that can be applied to any haunting ever.
Well, yeah, that's reality. It's just, it is what you want it to believe. Want it to be.
I'll tell you what, has Zach Bagans come to the lighthouse?
Not that I saw.
I don't think he should. They're too nice. They're too nice for people just to be screaming at him.
I'll fight you. He's like, oh, we don't want to fight. You want a beer?
It's like, no, we don't fight.
You
We're
want some
Canadians.
tub beer?
We're very nice, yeah.
Some tub beer?
Well, so what do we think?
Well, I think, like I said, I was invited in, but I did not have a key to get in. So sorry, Radamuller. I would have hung out with you. The murder really happened. There's, like I said, the archivist pulled the trial records. Of course, they weren't totally complete. And then his wife and daughter were taken care of by the city after he, at the time, disappeared because they didn't find his remains. But I think, at the very least, it's kind of the first unsolved murder of Toronto. And then definitely you get a spooky vibe at the part by the lighthouse. It's set off from the walking trail a little bit. I imagine if you went at dusk or even sunset, you know, it would be a little. We were there in the blazing hot sun, hence why I got sunburned. Which no excuse for that, but it's historical when you see it in the sunshine. But I think it could definitely, if you were especially walking up the stairs, going inside. Paranormal investigators have gone in there and done EVP readings and gotten EVP readings that, you know, how many people are here, and they say 4 or whatever, you know, and they truly say they have findings beyond just my ghost app that I used. But that's what I think is there's got to be some sort of that much historical that you have with the limestone, which we also learned recently at one of our stops here along the tour, that limestone is a conductor of energy, and also water is a conductor of energy, so you tend to see hauntings or at least some sort of restless electrical activity, whether you believe in ghosts or not, around areas that have a lot of electricity and a lot of limestone, and this has those two things. So
yeah, in 2018, the paranormal seekers visited, and they asked how many people are here right now? How many dead people are here right now? Very specific. You can't just say people.
no, because people are going to start
like,
call and roll.
What do you want me to do, math? Yeah, and a male voice responded 4. So
So it's not just us. I mean, I think and the reputation precedes it. It is so fun that there's a spooky lighthouse that's just sort of part of the landscape of an otherwise very beautiful,
It's gorgeous.
nature area with, you know, beaches and partying, and people were there celebrating. Like you said, there's an amusement park. We ate, I would say, like 35 pounds of French fries because we accidentally ordered so many French fries and we ate all of them. But I think, you know, you're kind of cutting up, having fun, and there is, as you look out, you're like, this is such a historical area, because even without the lighthouse, which I'm glad it still stands, you know, there was once, you know, the fort was there, and just having land and buildings that are that old and preserving them.
a lot of history.
There's a lot of history there,
a lot
too.
of energy, yeah. We said if we only have one day to do stuff in Toronto, we're glad it was there, because we feel like we got a little taste of everything. But yeah, it was
that
gorgeous.
skyline.
And it's very, what'd you say?
I said that skyline. Woo,
Oh, yeah.
beautiful.
You got a great skyline. You got a great downtown. But standing there and thinking, whenever we visit historical places, like, spoiler, it hasn't come out yet, but our show in Columbus, we went to the Ohio...
The Gates of Hell was Columbus.
Gates of Hell. And then Cleveland was the Ohio Reformatory, which is a haunted prison. It's where Shawshank Redemption was filmed, if anybody is familiar with that movie. But both there and today, it's like, man, we're just like a blip on the radar of history. And to think of, like, you imagine all the things that went on there and the different time, and then you just start getting in your head a lot about time, and then you're like, oh, man.
Well, we love that.
How long ago was it that I ate that edible? Because I'm starting to spiral.
You're like, I'm in time. But Warren Hazelton, the park supervisor for the islands, he said, you know, he's kind of goes, yeah, we're okay. He said that every time he walks the lighthouse steps, he skips step 13. So it's 100 steps. You know, you might say, oh, it's just
You
kind
got
of
99
luck.
steps.
And a step ain't one.
Yep.
But he also says he bangs on the stone walls of the tower, and I thought, oh my gosh, it's like maybe you're saying hi to the past. But he said, I hit every stone because there's apparently bootleg cash hidden in the walls.
You
So
never know.
we're all inspired in our own different
Something might
ways.
fall out.
So now I know that. I was like, well, that's why they keep it locked. There's
Yeah.
money. There's always money in the Gibraltar Lighthouse. They don't want us to go in there shaking the rocks. But there's the plaque is there for you to see it, and it does mention the ghosts on the plaque, which
Sure
I
does.
love, and I love the idea that that's not going to make it like cooler. Of
I
course,
think that
it's
makes
cooler.
it way cooler.
So much cooler. So
Yeah, it gives a ton of history. Well, we had a fantastic time. Next time you guys go over there, now you know a little bit about it.
yeah.
And now when you're just walking around with your P's and V's out on the beach, and be like,
And
dang,
B's.
there can be a... No, I said P's and V's.
I was saying in bees,
Oh,
butts.
P's, V's, and B's.
And-
I mean, all of it. It's whatever. Yeah. Now you can be like, man, there could be body parts buried under the sand.
Or there's just a ghost in the bushes.
Yeah.
And he's like, why would I ever leave?
I mean, why would he leave? There's now a nude beach there. He's like, I'm never leaving this island.
no, it's gorgeous. It smells like delicious Greek food
Things
and
just
pizza.
keep getting better.
Yeah, why would you ever leave?
No, it's perfect. Yeah.
I'm not going to cross over.
Yeah, well, that's the end of our episode. But if you've been to a live show, you know that it's not ending here. We got some more stuff planned. Round of applause if you are one of our lovely Patreon members. Thank you. Thank you so much for all your support. But this is a bit we do on Patreon called Judge Christie. And on tour, we bring it to the road.
We bring the judge to you. And she's riding the circuit.
I have my gavel.
Yes.
That George Brown bequeathed to me. It says Judge Christie, Precinct 13, Sinisterhood. So we'll explain how this works. Heather will give us a little example. And she said last night, I've got one for you, but she wouldn't tell me what it was because I live react and then we rule on it. And then when we ask you guys if you have a grievance and you have to yell out, I have a grievance, and then we will call on you and you'll just walk right down here to where the microphone is and we'll talk to you for a few seconds. So what is your grievance, Heather, that you've brought to the court? Oh, also my jurisdiction is global and all rulings are final.
No appeals.
You can't appeal anything.
I told you the story. I don't think I told it on the air, and regardless, I did not tell it to you in the sense that I was asking for you to rule on it at the time. I was just confessing a thing that I had done, which makes it sound like I was wrong, but I don't think I was. So this happened on the honeymoon when we stayed in a place called El Cosmico in Marfa, Texas. Beyonce has stayed there. It's a campground area that also has a shop. It's where you check in for the campground. They have teepees, campgrounds, and then you can stay in these refurbished old trailers. So we'd stayed in one of the trailers, and in the trailer was this tapestry. It was this blanket. It was made of Bolivian blanket, hand woven, and it has a little square in the corner that says El Cosmico. And we loved the blanket.
Is it soft?
It's heavy and it's not soft. It's like a blanket.
Perfect for a blanket. I'm thinking of it as those parkas.
Kind of like a poncho kind of thing.
Poncho, that kind of material.
Sort of, yeah. And it's, I believe it is wool.
Rope almost.
It's wool and it's rougher. But you would put it on top of your blanket anyhow. So as we were leaving, Paris said, let me take the bags to the car. I would like to repeat, we are on our honeymoon. We are newlyweds. It was a very happy time. And he said, when you go check out.
Everybody.
We're fine. Everything's fine. He was like, when you go check out, will you buy us one of those blankets? And I said, yes. So I went to check out, and I said, I would like to purchase a blanket. There was a ladder of them. They were all hanging very nice. And I picked one out, and I put it on the counter, and the woman said, that will be $350. And I went, okay. And I bought it, I did it. I just was like, do you take credit cards? Can I pay this in installments over time? She was like, yeah, whatever. So I paid for it. I walk out to the car. Paris was like, looks great. So how much was that blanket? And I said, it wasn't $500. And he goes, okay, how much was it? And I go, it wasn't $400 either. And he's like, how much was it? And I said, why don't you guess? He guessed. We got to $350. He was like, you what? He wasn't yelling at me. He was just like, what? I can't believe you paid $350 for a blanket. I said, you told me to buy a blanket. You did not say, buy a blanket within this price point. He just said, go buy a blanket. And I said, okay, our finances are shared now, so you better have a good credit score, bud, because this bitch just got so wiped. I was like, all right. And so we had a discussion, and now every time I get the blanket, I'll be like, can you hand me the blanket? And then he'll put it on me, and I'll be like, oh, it's so warm. It's like $350 warm. Or I'll be like, this is so warm, I would pay, I don't know, upwards of $350 for this blanket. So we've made it into a bit of a joke now. But at the time, he was like, you should not have bought that. You should have just walked away.
So to him, there is some number that you don't go above when you're just like buying a souvenir.
Correct. His whole thing was he goes, maybe for a blanket like that, maybe like $100, $150. I was like, it was hand woven in Bolivia. He was like, you don't know that. That's
also,
just what
it's like a memento of your honeymoon, which is priceless.
That's what I said. I was like, to me, it was the blanket from the place that we stayed on our honeymoon.
And now it's become a joke in your house. It's going to be passed down
for generations
to generations.
I'm getting the sense of what your ruling would be.
I think if he Well, I think you both learned something about each other, and that's what marriage is about. And that's things you learn in a relationship as you go. It's like, you're right. You were just like, Paris wants this blanket. He told me to get it. I love Paris. I'm going to get this blanket. To him, he had a mental number that if it was like more than this, you should be like, nah, we're not getting that.
If
but
the tables were turned, he
don't
would
know
not.
that.
Yeah,
No.
he wouldn't have bought that.
What max amount would he have spent on that?
I bet he would not have spent over $200. If it was if it was $175 when you start adding in tax, that's like too much.
So
despite the fact it's like about if it would go over like a queen size bed and we have a king size bed. He's like, it's not even the size of the bed.
It doesn't even reach the end of the edge of the mat.
It doesn't
The
reach-
Helix mattress. Use code creepy for 20% off.
No.
They have queens, and so you can go get a Cosmico blanket to be on top of it.
Yeah.
I think you did the right thing, and I also would have done that too.
Yeah.
I wonder though if Tommy would have. I think he would have.
I think
But-
if you said buy me that blanket, period. Like he would have done it.
Yeah,
But if you were like, go check out the blankets, and if you think we should get one, maybe get one. He might not have.
I think he would have. But Tommy and I had a similar incident last month when we went to a...
Uh-oh. This is your grievance. I'm going to rule on this one.
Well, my final ruling for yours is you're in the right.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to rule on you now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, man, the tables have turned. The bailiff's become the judge. So we had a fundraiser for Ella's school, and it's like the biggest fundraiser that the school does all year. It's an auction. There's both a silent auction, which was mobile this year. So for like days before the actual event, you could be bidding on things. But then there was also a live auction that only happened at the actual event. So I was both bidding on things on the silent auction that I was winning. And then, but no money had changed hands. Mm-hmm. And then we could see, like, these are the live auction items that are going to be available. And we discussed, okay, we want to bid on the artwork that her class did as a class together. And then also somebody had donated a vacation, like, beautiful cabin in Jackson Hole, Wyoming for like 5 nights. So we were going to bid on both of these. Well, we had discussed what our max bid would be. And then people started cheering for me. First of all, we get there, they give us our little auction numbers. Guess what mine was?
If only.
666. And the guy goes, oh, I'm sorry, somebody has to get it. And I go, oh, fuck yeah, at my daughter's fundraiser.
They know who they're dealing with.
And they were like, I don't know what's happening here. And so then when it came time, I was like, okay, we had a number we weren't going to go above for the artwork.
To clarify.
That number was $500, which is already a lot. I recognize that. But when you are there in the moment, and it's you and one other mom from across the bar, this was at a bar, and everyone is cheering for you, and the auctioneer is like, bam, this is one of a kind. Your daughter helped paint this. Oh. And they're preying on your emotions. Tensions were high, and I could not back down.
Didn't you tell me at one point you turned to look at Tommy and the auctioneer said,
ma'am, don't look at him. You know what you want to do. And I was like, oh, my God.
He's coming between the married couples. He was like, don't ask his permission. You're independent.
Tommy, meanwhile, I was standing the whole time, and Tommy is just sitting there like this.
Head down.
He didn't tell me to stop or anything, and I leaned down at one point, and I said, I can't walk away. And then it kept going, and the numbers kept getting
you got to call the
higher
mortgage
and higher.
company. We're going to take out a lien. We got to take a lien out on the house for this. They're cheering for me.
Did I win? Yes. Thank you very much.
Never back down.
Thank
Never
you.
surrender.
I will say, when I sat down, Tommy goes, you can't do that again. Because Jackson Hole hadn't come up yet. And then Jackson Hole, the opening bid was significantly higher than what our max was. So I just went, okay, and I'm going to set this down. And then I didn't bid on. But then my rationale was, well, we had allocated a certain amount of funds for both things.
True.
I'm sorry that I spent the majority of that on one thing, but I couldn't lose, and now it looks great in our house.
You did say it was framed.
It came framed and matted, and it's very pretty.
I Googled, how much do you know art is worth? And the internet said a good indicator is what it last sold for at auction.
Well, then I can tell you it's worth $1,900 because Christy doesn't lose.
God.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Before we started, Tommy was like, he's like, I don't know. I go, what if we, instead of like 500, it was 750? And he's like, you got to walk away. And I go, get your head in the game. But then afterwards, he said, had he just been sitting on his own, much like Paris, once it hit 750, he would have walked away. And I'm like, how could you have done that? People were cheering for you.
No.
Everybody wanted you to keep doing it. You would have let everyone down.
No.
But he can just walk away. I can't.
No.
Which is why I'm probably not allowed to hold the paddle if we go to auctions now.
Then didn't you say you Googled in advance how to win, and one of them was like, do not be emotional.
Yeah.
Set a limit and walk away. And you were like, rip that in half.
All of those things, because it was like the auctioneer will prey on your emotions. He certainly did. He was very good at it too.
This auctioneer school, they were like, you spot their weaknesses and you go for it. You dive in.
Go for the throat. So, Your Honor, am I in the wrong for going significantly above what was pre-agreed upon for our budget?
As a jurist, a respected jurist, I would like to say that we need to establish precedent, and we need to stick to the precedent that is established. And as a person who has recently benefited from a real good ruling, I am going to stick with stare decisis, which means just leave it as it is and say, you felt it in your gut and you needed to get that thing, and no, you're not guilty.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. That was a lot of pressure and a lot of responsibility, and I don't know how I felt about it.
I feel.
Well, we have a microphone set up right here to the side. If you all want to line up, we probably should have told you that earlier. And normally we have you scream, I have a grievance, but because it's going to be a little bit more organized, you can just say it in whatever manner you feel is necessary and just be like, I have a grievance, just FYI, or yell it just a little bit further back.
Who has a grievance? Here comes someone.
We got some folks. You got a grievance? Come on down.
We got a line going. Or you don't have to get in line. You can also
just wait.
Sit in your seat and enjoy the comfort of your seat.
But yeah, I think we have our first contestant.
What? Yes, this is a competition.
I was very lucky right beside me.
What's your name and pronouns?
Joanna, she, her.
Hi, Joanna.
Hello.
Hi. And I have a grievance, and I have not warned my wife that I'm doing this.
Excellent.
Oh, perfect.
And I love her a lot. So my wife is actually from Texas.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
Canadian.
Oh, yay.
So
what part?
So is
What
mine.
part?
Just south of Dallas.
Nice.
Neighbor.
Yeah.
We know where Hillsborough is.
Oh, there you go. So she's a transplant. And one of the things that we have had a lot of fun with, because I'm very Canadian, is the terminology differences between the two countries. And our biggest sticking point is the word barbecue. So I realize I have maybe a disadvantage asking Americans to judge this one. But
So you're saying, does a Canadian say it better than a Texan?
I'm actually,
Is
it's
that
the
the question?
definition of what counts as barbecue.
Oh, okay.
So the thing that you cook on, I would call a barbecue. She says it's a grill.
What's a grill?
We call it a grill.
Okay, see?
That's a grill.
Thank you.
Barbecue
The
is what
food
comes
that you-
from a grill.
The food that you cook on the barbecue.
The what?
The food that you cook on
Oh,
it.
yeah.
So like if I'm going to my cousin's house for a barbecue, we're having hamburgers and hot dogs.
No.
And she says that doesn't count.
No, barbecue's ribs and brisket.
So I have tried to compromise by calling it American barbecue or Canadian barbecue, and she's not willing to compromise on that. So
Never surrender. Never surrender.
that was my concern.
Although you're talking to a person that doesn't really know what the money here is called, and I got a lot of texts about and DMs about calling it.
You called it a loony and it's called a toonie?
No, a loonie is
Reverse.
$1.
Toonie is $2, which makes sense because two is in the name.
Yes.
But the
The
loonie.
toonie has a loon on it. Thank
No,
you.
no. The toonie? No.
No, everyone's screaming.
Don't
It's a
turn
riot.
on each other.
Okay. The loonie has a loon on it, And when they made the toonie, it was just funnier to call it a toonie. It's got a polar bear on it.
Oh, there's a polar bear on it.
There was actually a vote.
It's my favorite.
There were other names. So my question is, am I in the right to keep on calling it barbecue when I'm in Canada?
So
and
I
eating
watch
Canadians?
a lot of. I know you guys aren't British, okay? I'm not about to say something super stupid, but they do this like on British shows too. They're like, "Oh, we're going to do barbecue," and it's like just what we would call. That was perfect. What we would call like a picnic. I think.
Yeah.
I think barbecue has become like an event. More than the actual
Like a
things that
cookout?
are served. Yes, we would call it a cookout.
Okay.
That is accurate. If we went to a house and people were grilling out hot dogs and hamburgers, we'd say we're having a cookout.
Yes.
If we were saying we're having a barbecue, then we're expecting chicken.
Somebody better have a smoker.
Yeah, you got to have a smoker. There better be sauce. There's
Brisket.
ribs, like barbecue chicken.
Somebody brought rub. They rubbed the meat first.
Yeah. It's a
Sauce on
whole
the side.
thing. It's a way
It's
of
a
life.
full day event, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But so when we go to Texas and visit her family,
it's fair.
I'll call it barbecue.
Yeah.
But shouldn't she have to call it barbecue when it's hamburgers and hot
She
dogs
doesn't do
here?
anything she didn't want to do.
I mean,
She's shaking her head right now.
I feel like it's like home rules.
That's a good point.
Wherever you are, I think you do have a point because when if you guys come over to our part of the world, and what's another different terminology? I see you have
Iced
washroom
tea.
here.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and we call them bathrooms. If you Sam? I mean, we wouldn't be like, bitch, you better call it a bathroom. You're not finding out where it is.
Yeah.
We'd
Washroom.
still let you do it.
My mom was always, because I used to date a Yankee and he called it a washroom. And my mom was like, you don't wash in the washroom. He's like, you don't take a bath in there either. I was like, well, let's just all call it the shitter then. Compromise.
Universal
New
name
word.
of the shitter.
I will say, your wife, as we all are, is free to do anything she or we all want to do. You're completely free. However, none of us are free from the consequences of our actions. Yeah. So if you would like to roll around in Canada using Texans terminology, that's fine. There just may be some confusion. If you were like, come on to the cookout and we'll have a grill and we'll grill out some, whatever, people might go, like, oh, do you mean a barbecue? Then you might get corrected a lot, and that's maddening. And so just sometimes acquiescing is the easier route. That's my opinion.
So I'm hearing compromise.
I think if you're here, you call it barbecue when it's not. And then in America, you have to call it barbecue, which it is. So really, it's just a word, but you're so right. You're right. But so final ruling, home field rules. You
like
gotta
it.
go home rules.
Home rules.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yep. What are other words that we say that they say different?
I think I say a lot of words different.
Well, that's even in America and Texas
America.
too. Now that we're not in America, I've really leaned into calling it America.
We're technically in North America, counts as all three of them.
But it's not the.
It's not the
Don't
States.
ruin my joke, Heather.
No, I just think it's fun when folks call it the States. I'm like, I felt very
Oh
cosmopolitan.
yeah, my hair girl today kept saying, "I'm just obsessed with the States. I'm obsessed with y'all's politics." I was like, "They're fucking garbage. They shouldn't be."
Don't be
She's
obsessed
like, it's so interesting how every state, like, it's different, and everything here is just we all kind of believe the same stuff. I was like, "Well, that must be great." It's a dumpster fire where we're from right now. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, there was a protest by our hotel today.
Oh, there was. Yeah, there was.
Yeah, a bunch of people don't like your prime minister, as it turns out. At least the people walking down the street with signs that said "fuck Trudeau." So,
Unless they really liked
unless
him.
they're like,
And they were like, may I?
because he is very attractive. Y'all definitely win the who has the better looking president battle, hands down, hands down. Hello.
Hi.
What is your name and pronouns?
I'm Florence.
Florence?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Her, she. A couple months ago, I started a new friendship with this guy that studies with me at university. And I'm a pretty nervous person, which must be really obvious right now.
Anytime you get nervous, just think that I told hundreds of thousands of people how I shit in a bag in my car. So Don't worry. I'll take all the nerves for you. Now, nothing can be more embarrassing than that. Than I having just said that. So you're good.
So I have troubles with how to handle my anxiety sometimes, particularly in social situations. So having a new friend was hard for me because I don't know how he's gonna handle how I talk. So I have to talk with like a filter. That kind of thing really stresses me. Mm-hmm. So I was having anxiety all week because we had this kind of friend date. And we've already had a couple. Everything was going great, but I had like too much other shit going around in my life, so I was really anxious. Mm-hmm. So we were supposed to see each other, and I write to them, and I'm like, I'm feeling really anxious right now. I have a lot of things to do for Mother's Day, and it's like a lot of stress for me right now. Could we do this maybe like either next week, or maybe we could just see each other with both of our boyfriends? Mm-hmm. And he just replied back like, then never mind, like just fuck that.
Rude. You tried to just do a reasonable reschedule request.
Yeah, so my question was it okay to ask for a reschedule? Yes. And also like should have, because I'm always honest towards
as
people,
you should
and
be.
I'm like,
that's
should have
fantastic
lied.
Quality. No, don't lie. Be yourself. If he, first of all, you keep saying friend, but it sounds like, is there more going on?
Between him and me? No.
Not now, after he said, well, never mind.
No, he's gay. There was really nothing there.
Never mind.
So it truly was like, it's kind of a weird, hard thing, making new friends when you're grown up.
Yeah.
It's strange, and like finding where everybody fits into everybody else's life and like their social circles and stuff. But honestly, the foundation of a friendship is being able to say how you feel and being heard and feeling like you're being heard. And what, instead of taking from your sentence or your message, which said, I'm very overwhelmed and have a lot of stuff to do, we need to reschedule, a selfish person wholly focuses on we need to reschedule and how that impacts them, and fully ignored the first part where you were like, hey, I'm going through a bad time. Mm-hmm. And so a good friend would have gone, of course, whatever, we can reschedule. Are you okay? You seem like you're going through a bad time. Anything I can help you want to talk about it on the phone? But instead of being like, this is about me, and here's how you've ruined my life. It's like, oh, right, it ain't the you show, all right? We're all the stars of our own movie here.
That's true, yeah. I don't think you did anything wrong, and have you spoken since?
No, we haven't. I thought about writing back, but I was like, what do I even answer?
How do you respond to a rude-ass message like, never mind, all right?
I would give it a few days and see if they contact you. And if they don't, evaluate, like, do you really want to pursue a friendship that way? That's a pretty big red flag early on.
You
in
deserve,
a friendship.
absolutely, and you deserve somebody that listens to you and cares about your well-being, and it puts your feelings over just like the temporary, like, I want to hang out with you. It's all well and good to be like, oh, I'm disappointed we didn't get to hang out, but not like, never mind. Like, good God.
Yeah. You did nothing wrong, and you deserve the best, and if they don't give that to you, then bye. Final moon. Cut them off.
Cut off.
They're dead to you. They're dead to you. Yes. Oh, such a nice
great
Canadian
crew.
thing
This is
to
a great
do.
crew.
What's your name and pronouns?
My name's Megan, and it's she, her.
Hi, Megan.
Hello.
And first of all, your shit your pants story was the episode that solidified that you guys are my people.
Thank you. Thank
me
you.
and
It
my
is my
closest-
legacy. I have just decided that no matter what I do in life,
Yeah.
it's not going to matter because
If you
nothing will beat
haven't
that.
shared a shit your pants story with your friends, are they really your friends?
Exactly.
True. Yes, and I
Anyways.
consider all of you my friends.
My
What is
grie-
your grievance?
Yeah, my grievance is kind of general.
Okay.
So I actually don't live in Toronto anymore. I live in Ottawa, which is
Okay.
Canada's capital, if you guys don't know.
They moved it. They used to be Toronto
They moved
But
capitals?
anyways,
back in the day.
my grievance is when I'm sitting at a traffic light, the second it turns green, I am getting people honking at me. And every single, and okay, I'll admit sometimes I obviously like glance at my phone when I'm at the light, but I know that they are premature honking because I can see the people across have not even crossed the intersection. So
They're
I
honk horny.
know,
Yeah, they're
I
honk
know
horny.
it's not like, I'm like, okay, yeah, I wasn't paying attention, but I know they're premature honking because I can see the traffic across has not already moved. So my thing is, do I honk back? Do I just hold the brake and do I just put it into park and say, we'll wait this bitch out? Or,
I'll tell you what, if you are married to me, that's exactly what you do, and it's very stressful. He's like, you want to honk at me? We're not going. We'll sit here all day. And I'm like, we have a place to go. And he's like, mm-mm.
yeah,
I'm like,
not anymore, bitch.
he'll just go like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and then
Does
go.
he really?
Oh, yeah, he waits. Mm-hmm.
I
Oh, yeah.
didn't. That's and I would not have thought that.
He's like genuinely, Paris has he doesn't get enraged, he doesn't get mad about anything, but somebody honking at him at a green light, and he does not touch his phone while he drives. And he's just like, I'm not gonna like hit the gas and go through it because people run red lights.
That's also
so you
the
should
traffic.
pause. It's
You
good to
are
give it.
supposed to look left, and you're supposed to look right.
Give it a
and
beat.
Then you're
I
supposed
recently
to go.
took a driving test, and that is true. That is very true.
Oh man! So is this happening all over
It
or just in
happens.
Toronto?
No,
Y'all have
it
crazy
happens.
traffic.
Okay, first of all, I'm sorry, but nobody in Toronto should have a license after coming from
Jesus.
Ottawa. I lived in Toronto
blanket
for my whole
statement.
life, then moved to Ottawa for 5 years. The Quebec drivers are crazy, but then when I come back to Toronto, I'm like, I don't think anybody here should have a license.
Gotta get those
Like,
moving
it's
sidewalks.
Terrible. Yeah.
Ah, burn.
See, here's what I was kind of
Jesus,
thinking
she's
was
not
the
wrong.
deal. When you started talking, I was like, she's probably a bad driver.
Which only recently,
Because someone gets really enraged when they drive.
Great. I'm a great driver.
And
But you have to say, I'm a
she
good
yells
driver.
a lot when people don't go right away.
Yes, you're on both sides. Like when they don't go, you're like, let's fucking go. We got places
Fuck out
to
of the
be. But then when they
Yeah,
honk,
there's
you're
people
like,
walking
can
through the
we all
crosswalk?
fucking relax for a
Knows
second?
them a little bit.
Like,
You gotta pick a lane,
I know,
literally.
but-
Like, if you're gonna be an aggro sitter at a stop sign, then you gotta be an aggro driver. If you're gonna be like, everyone should back the fuck off because I haven't been ready to go, then you gotta give that same consideration to the people that are
I
in
do.
front of
I
you.
never honk, but in my head, I'm like, oh my God, we've got places to be. What are we on a scenic drive? Let's go.
I like the idea though that someone honks at you and you honk back, and then everybody just starts honking.
Well, that's what we
Nobody
earlier.
knows where honk's coming from.
It was honk
I
chaos
usually
earlier
don't
when we were
honk
driving
back.
here. We were like, who's honking? Is it at us? And then someone else started going, and it was like a flock of birds. Just everybody started honking. and we're like,
I will say, and we in Texas and maybe the South, people don't really honk because it's just slower and like you're like I've sat through like a light before because I'm like, all right, like you just don't honk really unless.
I honk all the time.
somebody-
Yeah. I miss my VW Beetle because it was like, ooga. And then people are like, what was that? And they're like, it was a beetle? I'm like, yeah, it was.
But here we've noticed y'all just walk in the street a lot and like.
Humans.
And people don't really care that there's cars.
I think it is it's walkable, bikeable, motorcycleable, public transitable, I think cars are secondary.
Yeah,
So-
we're the car.
That's right. There's
That's true. Y'all don't care that you get hit by a car because
Sure.
you get
Run me down.
care no matter what. And back home, that's like
Yeah, if you
it's
get
like,
run over, you're like, well, I'm going to be fired
walk
from my
10
job.
feet away from the sidewalk in case the car runs up and hits your ass. Nobody's going to take care of you. I think that what was your grievance?
That people just honk like too quickly.
Why
So when
people
they
are
honk,
honking?
Should they
before
honk?
it's
I mean-
even time to honk, because I get sometimes there's time to honk, but when they're too quick, like it's like calm down.
Yeah,
Nobody's
what
even,
should you do?
Yeah, should I just put it into park and wait
No.
and turn up the music?
Well, that's aggressive.
Give them
And
all
as a
away.
Canadian, I don't think y'all are an aggressive people. I would say, pull a Paris. You're like, I'm not moving until I'm ready to move.
Yeah.
They're like, we'll take a moment. Take
I'm
a
gonna
beat.
Take a moment. It's like when you're at the grocery store and you're checking out and people start putting their shit up on the belt, and I'm like, back it up.
Yeah, give me some space.
This is until I've completed my transaction. This conveyor belt is mine.
How much time are you going to save? The conveyor belt moves forward, so it doesn't even matter if you put it on
true.
now or later.
Yeah.
Silliness. I think you're, give it a beat. Go when you're ready.
So
Don't worry about it.
wait a little extra longer than I probably
fine.
But
would.
also, be the change you want to see.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. Hello. What's your name and pronouns?
Hi, I'm Tamara, she, her.
Hi, Tamara.
Hi. I have cats,
Congratulations.
two of them, and their litter mates are very similar looking. This will be important later.
Okay.
And I just moved in with a friend. I've been friends with him for a couple years. And
Another friend.
Yes, a friend. I'm gay.
Okay.
So we moved in together April 1st, and he is already calling like my cats his son and daughter, and like he calls himself like their dad. And I always correct. I said, stepdad. Please and thank you. And he's like, no. Like, he's adamant that he's their dad. I'm like, bitch, I raised them. I paid for all of their
Cat school.
food, vet visits. Like, I paid for their education.
You have their cat college fund ready?
Yeah.
Their health insurance. Like, you are their stepdad at best.
Yeah.
Best.
All right?
At best. And really not even that. Because you're not
And
a couple.
we got drunk like last night, and we actually had like a fight about it.
Whoa.
I was like,
Were the cats in the room? Did they hear
They
this?
were,
I'm
because
gonna upset them.
You shouldn't fight in front of the
It's gonna
children.
scar those cats.
I know.
Send them to their rooms.
Toxic marriage. I know. He was like holding one of them and kissing him, and it's like,
Oh, no.
Do you love your daddy? And I was like, how fucking dare you? Put him down right now.
No.
So that is my grievance. I'm very upset about it.
So it's a cat custody battle.
And it's also Mother's Day like a couple of days ago. Like,
It was indeed.
that's a slap in the face.
Are you making any plans for Father's Day to honor him or no?
I don't even know when Father's Day is. So
Dang.
no.
June something.
You don't need to worry about it though, because them cats don't have a daddy. You're right.
Did he give you a Mother's Day present?
They shat on the floor, but
Wait, the cats did?
But he
The
did
cat.
not buy something on behalf of the cats to
no,
give to you?
no, of course not.
Deadbeat.
Well, yeah, deadbeat dad.
That'd be dad.
That would irk me to no end. Someone coming in and claiming ownership. Like, you get to swoop in and just be the cool stepdad. You haven't been here along with all
Yeah.
the trials and tribulations. These cats.
You
You
didn't
don't
pick them
pick
out.
up their poop and
He
their
doesn't
vomit.
change the litter box?
No.
Oh, no. Then he has zero parental rights.
My cat threw up yesterday. I asked him to clean it up. Throw up still there.
Also, love that you spite left that throw up out.
Oh yeah.
You were like, oops.
Oh yeah.
I'll smell
was
it. I don't give a fuck. You
I
better
have
clean
a
this
live
up.
show to go to tonight. You're cleaning that up when I get back.
Done.
If he wants to be called a dad, then he needs to step up and act like one. Because right now, he's just strolling in with the title, and he's not doing any of the hard work.
No, you can't just designate yourself a dad. The dad title is earned through hard work and putting the time, and it's not all snuggling in the face. Sometimes it is scoop and puke. So he
lot
needs
of
to do
times.
all. You got to take the good with the bad. And I think it's presumptuous to call yourself something. You can't. A title is something people give to you, and not
You
something you
need to
claim.
give that title to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
After he has
can't-
earned it.
You can't just stroll in and claim something like that.
No, you got to let. He has to earn it. I think that's what it is. Yeah, cat custody dispute. That is well within Judge Chris's jurisdiction.
I specialize in that, and I am giving you sole custody, and it's up to you how you want to divvy up visitation.
I wish I recorded this.
It will be recorded. So
Yeah, play him this.
well, it will be played back to you.
Hi, how are you?
Hello.
What's your name and pronoun?
My name is Lana, she, her.
Hi, Lana.
So my grievance is with my boyfriend.
Okay, is he here?
He's not here. I'm here with my best friend Isha. It's her birthday.
Happy birthday!
Woo! So, I've been with my boyfriend for many years now. When we first got together, and we've been together for years. So when we first, couple years in, I've noticed my boyfriend never felt comfortable enough to toot around me.
Okay.
Right. But I if I have a
You're ripping
tummy ache and I got a toot, I would just go for it.
Just rip that ass.
appreciate
Exactly. Like, we're close. We love each other.
Yeah.
Like, if we gotta go, we gotta go. If
Yeah.
we gotta just do a little toot. It's all good. But years go by. This man never toots around me.
Does
never.
he toot?
He toots, but never around
You're sure?
me.
How do you know if the tree falls?
Well, that's
in
the
the
thing. I was like, I am with the perfect man who never toots. Like,
No,
I'm like, this
everybody does.
That
man
doesn't
is
exist.
perfect.
He would explode.
And
We're
we
not
move.
designed to keep
So
that in.
we move in together. We buy a condo together 6 months ago.
Okay,
And
congrats.
so we move in
Serious.
together, and I sit him down. I have a conversation with him. I'm like, listen, we've been together for so many years. I've never heard you toot. I feel comfortable to do it around me. Is there like a barrier between us? So my grievance is I was the one to be like, hey, I want you to feel comfortable around me. If you need to toot, don't feel like you have to hold it in. Like, I've done it. You should be able to do it. So we move in 6 months ago. As soon as we move in, and I had the conversation about right before we moved in together.
Okay. Before you get the keys to the condo, you give him the fart
I
talk.
gave the conversation.
Okay.
I was like, don't feel uncomfy, boo. I love you.
Very welcome.
We move in together, and I have never regretted that conversation more.
Oh no.
This man has surpassed me in tooting levels.
The whole house
Careful
is
what
full.
you wish for.
And the worst part is I initiated this. I
Yeah,
opened
you
the
did.
door
This
to
is
the
your fault.
tooting,
And
and
he
now
didn't-
it won't stop.
He didn't
your
just
fault.
walk through. He barreled through.
One more thing. The worst part is when I tell him, I'm like, boo, you're doing too much. It's too much now.
like the blanket.
I take it back.
It's
but
like the blanket. You had a number of farts in your head he couldn't go above.
yes.
But he
surpassed.
did not know that. So
Yes.
he's just like, it's Pandora's box. It's been open.
It's Pandora's
And now he's
booty
doing too
hole.
much, and I regret it. But the worst part is this man blames me. He goes, you're making me eat all these vegetables.
Okay.
Because
Well,
all he's been eating before he's lived with me was carbs, pasta, like pizza. And I'm like, let's introduce a little bit of vegetables.
You've
into
changed
it's like,
his diet.
It's you.
So you
You're
set a
the
trap.
reason why I'm tooting now. So not only am I the one to open the doors, I also introduce healthy fiber in his diet.
Yeah.
And he just blames
Well, with
me.
one comes the other.
Am I okay to be mad at this man?
No.
I think you've induced you've induced him
you
into
asked
farting.
for this. You wanted closeness, and you wanted him to be open in more
He
ways
never,
than one.
not once beforehand.
But
it
I
was
think-
like 0 to 100.
The other thing is, if truly you have any sway over what he eats and you are flatulently inducing him by what you're choosing to cook for him,
No more veggies.
That's
you're
right.
saying.
Or
Got it.
offset it or
Got it.
sprinkle a little Beano on there. I don't know. Do whatever you gotta do.
You guys have Beano?
Is that yeah,
Sorry?
yeah. It's
That
international.
seems like only an American thing. So
Beano's an
I don't-
anti-farting pill.
Yeah.
Which,
I've
like,
never
that's
heard
what
of
we
this.
spend our science on. Like, we'll solve this yet. Yeah, I think that careful what you ask for. I live in a non-farting household. Like,
Good for you.
when I was growing up as a kid, my dad made it clear if you want to fart, you got to fart in the bathroom. You go to the bathroom. So I, to this day, go to the bathroom. I've been in other relationships where exactly what you said, where it was like, it's okay, no worries. And it was like a fart machine, a joke, some sort of a joke shop or something. It was just like
gagged before.
all over the place, like a goddamn band running down the street with horns in every. I'm sorry. I lived in a nightmare. So I sympathize. I empathize. I'm sorry for what you're going through.
you.
But because of that, I am like, when Paris moved in the pandemic, I'm like, we don't openly fart in this house. And he was like, when he was a kid, because he has an older sister, that it was like not, if you got to pass the little boys, whatever, everybody's farting. But his mom was like, no, you also have to go in the other room. So we are silent fart. You like fart privately in our house.
We're basically that.
Private farters?
Well,
When we travel, we'll be
we don't
kinda,
like openly rip ass, but like, if
pops
Tommy's
out.
asleep and I have to,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
not like getting out of my bed to go.
No.
in the
If
bathroom.
they're asleep, the rules are off.
yeah,
Because you're not hurting anyone. They may have a dream that they're walking through a sewage plant or something. But they can just deal with that later with their therapist. But yeah, I think that
I think you can't be mad, but I think you can. There's a loophole, and that is you gotta start fixing him what you want him to eat.
Yes.
What you want
So
his
set
digestive
new
tract.
rules.
I think
basically.
That's true too. Fight fire with fire.
Fire with fire. There you go.
And then he'll see. Then he'll see it's not worth it. And then the doors will close.
Yeah, make it so bad that he's like, I know that you said this is okay, but we have to go back to how things were the way before.
I can't live like
Regret
this.
it.
Yeah. Final ruling, fight fire with fire.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi.
What's your name and pronouns?
My name's Juliet, she, her.
Hi, Juliet. Sorry, I had a mouthful of water, and Heather didn't say hi.
I said hello
Oh, she said it's sexy.
very quietly.
So I just found out that you guys were coming here tonight and
Oh.
came here with my boyfriend.
Oh,
Hello.
thank you for coming.
And
And now you're going to talk shit about him. He's very happy.
we props
came
to
right
him.
now.
I said, oh my gosh, they're coming to Toronto. And he was like, cool, let's go.
Aw,
Never
thank
really
you.
heard your podcast before. And he was just like, I'll
Thanks
come
for
with you.
coming.
But my grievance is with him.
You turned on him.
So we both really love like board games, card games, that type of stuff, and we're both really competitive.
Same, all of these things.
So Monopoly, I'm not allowed to play with him. Apparently, there's some black market rules that happen there that if we want to stay together, we can't play that. So I thought, we could play Scrabble. We had gone up to the cottage last summer. We both love words. We both love, challenging each other with different words. So I spelled the word axe. How do you spell it?
AXE.
Yeah.
So if anybody's played Scrabble, you know that one of the rules is that you have to choose a dictionary, and then if there's any contention about a
How many
word,
dictionaries are there?
just whatever dictionary you want. Oh, like in general, tons.
Really?
Yeah, but
So you can be like, I'm playing with like Merriam-Webster or
Well,
Merriam.
you would have to
Franklin?
choose. You would have to. Oxford.
Oxford English.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. British is Oxford, Merriam-Webster's American, I'm assuming? I don't know. Okay, so how did you spell it? AX?
So I spelled it AX, and
Okay.
I got a triple words score, and got a lot of points from it. And in the dictionary, there was an AX spelling, and to this day, he still thinks that doesn't count as the spelling for the word axe.
Was this the dictionary you had decided to use?
We both decided on it before the game started, exactly. So my grievance is
Does
about,
it mean the same thing as AXE?
yes,
Oh, okay. So it's just two different ways of spelling it.
yes.
I mean, if that was, I'm sorry, because I think that she's wrong. But the dictionary says she's right, that y'all agreed upon, so I think you get to keep your score.
I had a question. Is it listed as, so when you flip in the dictionary on the page, is it listed as the primary spelling or is it listed under variants?
We didn't even look that close.
It's its own word.
So AX was its own word and then AXE was
Did
its
it
own
also
word?
have
Yes.
AX?
So there was two entries?
Yes.
What
there
kind
were
of chaotic dictionary are you playing with? Did this come with the
Hybrid
cabin?
dictionary.
It did come with the cabin.
The dictionary came with the cabin? You were in Bizarro World. You were in a world where there are two axes. No Wi-Fi
no
and
Wi-Fi.
one weird dictionary where the shit ain't listed right. Well, that is bizarre.
And usually I tend to spell things the English way. So I'm surprised that I don't spell it AX, but I didn't know that was even how people spell it.
Yeah, it said I just looked up Merriam-Webster and it said AXE is the most common, but AX
But
is
that
also...
doesn't mean AX is wrong.
No, it doesn't say that it's wrong. It
Yeah.
says, but it's listed as a variant. That's why I wanted to ask. Because I think under the rules, if you say the word, we're going with the spelling in the dictionary, that I would say whatever is listed as the entry is what wins. But in this case, there's two entries.
Yeah.
So be careful what you play, what dictionary you play with. You play the dictionary you're dealt, and that's on y'all for using some weirdo cabin dictionary. I would have stole that and looked up what else was in there. That's some weird shit.
I think you get to keep your triple letter score, and now
Keep
going
it.
forward, we all learned something.
Get
today.
your own private dictionary.
Yes.
Second
private
grievance.
dictionary.
Just second grievance. He doesn't want to play Scrabble with me anymore.
Oh, well, after that.
Oh, dang. You hold a grudge like Heather holds a grudge.
She has to learn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hey, I'm Rebecca.
Hi, Rebecca.
She, her.
Thank you.
So my grievance is actually from first thing this morning. It's not as light as the rest of them. It's
Oh, we forgot to say no bummers. But but we said that too late.
Too late.
It's a little too late, but you know what?
Go ahead.
It's a part of life. So this is about death, but so a little bit of the history. I actually come from a small community, and I came to Toronto to go to college, where I met somebody, a friend, a male friend.
Uh-oh. She did air quotes for those listening at home.
So turns out we went to a party together. We are actually, all the friends there were mutual friends. We come from the same community, but we met in a big city. So we became best of friends, 6 years. We started a relationship for another 4 years. It ended on not so good terms. So unfortunately, he passed away suddenly this week. And considering the circumstances and whatever, I had asked because I'm engaged now, happily moved on, I asked my fiance, I want to make a post on social media. Is that okay with you? He's like, yeah, I saw your sister's post, who I'm here with today, and she's on my side.
Sides have been taken.
He goes, yeah, I want to see some of the photos you have. And I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. That's like, I want to share some photos and make a post. And nothing like inappropriate, no like kissy photos or like whatever. So I make this post, and he's like, oh, you're like, this is so extra. You, like, he took it after saying like it's okay. He's like,
this is a theme tonight.
Yeah, right?
Right.
And he's like, I think obviously like hearing it is one thing, but seeing it's another. So at the end of the day, I took the post down, but half my family's like on my side, half my family's on his side. So what's your vote?
Our side, much like everything else we've discussed, if you give someone the go-ahead and there's no like borders of what that looks like, then you've opened up, you're giving them permission.
Yeah.
Like, if he had said, you can make a post, but you get one picture and 5 sentences, and then it was like a whole thing, but like if he's like, yeah, go ahead, I want to see pictures, then you can't get mad about that afterwards.
Yeah, if it's going to be a concern over length or content, just say, first of all, as a, I don't know what you want to label me, but if one of Paris's exes died, I'd be like, don't make a post about her. But I'm just a real bitter person. Well, I mean, it depends. Or I might be like,
They were together for a very long time.
That's true. That's true. If this
10
he
years.
is, I'm like in the running for the longest relationship. I'm gonna get him. But I think if somebody is a meaningful part of your life, and it is important for your grieving process to make a connection with the people, like you said, you ran in the same friend group, and you want to make that connection, then balancing that expectation with your fiance, and if at any point anything was going to be an issue, I would just say, oh, yeah, I understand you want to make a post. Like, well, what do you think it might say? Or, like, let's go over it together. But if you give someone carte blanche, the carte is blanche. You cannot.
Blanched.
You can't move the goalpost later on and say, like, well, and especially something when it's public and it's a sensitive time. I would
pretty
maybe
sensitive.
Yeah, it's extremely sensitive. Like, everyone's grieving. I would just say, like, maybe take a breather in maybe a week or something, or a month. He could say, honestly, I had an issue with what you posted for X, Y, and Z logical reasons. And it could be that, he was squeezing you in one of the pictures, or, something, whatever it is that made him feel upset. But I think at this time, you're actually mourning someone who passed away, like in whatever way you are, because I think it's weird, like you said, if some things ended on different terms. So I think no takesies, backsies. Like, you can't change the rules once they've played the game. And if you do have an issue, express it to me after my grieving period's over, because not everything is about you. We're all the stars of our own movie.
Good, because
I agree. Yeah.
I told him it was gone from my profile, but I didn't actually delete it. I just put it in the archives, so.
Unarchive it.
There you go. Final ruling. We are all the own stars of our own movie. Yes. Hello. What is your name and pronouns?
Hi, I'm Sam.
Hi, Sam.
She, her.
Hello.
I respect that all your rulings are final.
Uh-oh.
However, I am taking advantage of microphone time here to comment on the fart.
Okay.
The fart ruling.
Bring it back. Okay. So you have, are you trying to, what is it called?
Appeal?
Are you trying to appeal?
I am.
On somebody else's behalf.
We're appealing on the fart grievance.
Okay.
And
we've never had this happen.
Okay.
I would love to hear it.
I respect that both of you have come from households with kind of, accepting that we fart in private rooms or however. But I want to suggest, maybe for the benefit of your relationship, if your partner is, feeling so comfortable to fart wherever, you know what? Farting is so natural, and it's a good sign of like things are moving and your body's feeling so good.
True. Yeah.
You know
Good
what?
cook.
You're eating good. You're feeling good. Things are good. What if with my husband and I, he is a free farter.
Okay.
I like that we've given them a name.
Yeah. Free farter.
Free farter and private farters.
Yeah, I'm a private
Free
farter.
farter, private farter. You know what? Even though I'm up here speaking for free farters, I too am a private farter.
Well,
You know what? That's what we all need to bridge the gap.
Okay. Yes.
We're not so different from each other.
Exactly.
We need to listen.
So what's the suggestion?
Boundaries.
Yeah.
I tell my husband, you cannot fart in the kitchen.
Oh,
that's
fair.
where we
That
make
makes
food.
sense. That's where the food's prepared.
That's where clean dishes are.
Yeah.
I don't want your poo particles floating around.
I like that.
You can fart wherever you want. Just stay the fuck
The
out
kitchen
of the
is
kitchen.
the only off
So you
limits
have
room?
you just have one single room where you can't fart, not one room to designate to fart in.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So, but still respecting.
I think that's
get
fair.
it. Like,
It's reasonable. I worked in a
farts
place
can
and we had a farting room. We all decided a certain conference room, we were not going to use it for conference purposes, that we farted in there only. And I mean, we didn't always tell the new people that started that that's what that was, but they pretty much quickly were like, don't rent conference room B. And you were like, nope.
B for
don't.
butts.
B is for butts. That's right.
B is for butthole.
That's a really good suggestion. Thank you so much.
I like that. Yeah,
All
that's
right.
a good suggestion. Thank you very
And
much.
I really love you guys. And
love
baby.
you back. We love you too. Thank you.
Excellent.
Hello. I think we have no idea. We have no concept of time.
Never.
What time is it?
All right. This is perfect timing.
Yeah, perfect timing.
This
We
is
have
our
our
last
last
grievance.
one.
Perfect.
Okay, I don't know. My name is Christy. She, her.
Oh, how do you spell it?
Kristi.
That's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
There's like 17 ways to spell
like,
it.
I'll allow it.
I have the correct way. This is
What did you say?
nothing.
I heard somebody go, oh, and I was like, I
She
missed
said,
a
I have the
burn."
correct way.
Oh, okay. That's right.
No,
I'm
this,
really Christine, so it's
Yeah,
shortened to
okay,
Christy.
okay,
Nobody
that's fair.
cares.
That's
Go ahead.
No, I care. No,
Thank you.
this is not really. I don't know how you would rule on this, but we have, say, pot stores. We have a lot of pot stores.
Oh, yeah.
in our,
We've
in
been to
ours.
several.
Yes, and we kind of like try to go around a lot of them so we don't look like too big of stoners. So we tend to buy a lot, and we go often. So we spread it around, spread the wealth, and not. But every time I go in, I guess maybe because I'm female of a certain age, they're like, oh. Let us explain. Let us explain about
They
the cannabis experience. You want the CBD, right? You want like 2 milligrams. And I'm like, no, I don't
bitch.
fucking want 2
Give
milligrams.
me that
I want
Jean
like,
V.
yes,
we
I
smoked
want,
a pre-roll of that last night.
yes,
let me tell you.
I like
Go
the
find
edibles.
your weed store and get one.
Yeah, I like the edibles. I like the THC. I don't care about the CBD. Don't come at me with the. So, I
They're
just
profiling you.
they are. I feel
Man.
profiled. I feel yeah. So and also, barbecue is barbecue.
We're coming back. We're coming back to the previous
So many
grievance.
appeals
Sorry.
happening.
But you're a Texan, right?
We're ending. Yes, we're ending where we finished.
We're ending
You're a
where we
Texan?
began. Yeah, this is our Texan from our initial grievance. This is the Texan wife.
Oh, yes, okay.
So that was my grievance. Just
Thank you.
Stop profiling me when I go into
Yes,
the
that does
pot
suck.
store. I don't know how you would grievance.
No,
Well,
we're gonna go. We'll find.
Yes,
Give
I
us the
gotta
list.
go to every
Yeah.
weed store before tomorrow and take my gavel.
Take your gavel in with you.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
Everybody's
thank you.
well. Let's all go.
We're doing a parade.
Storm the streets like
We're
that
doing a parade.
protest today. Yeah, that's I think you just have to pull
I
a
know.
baller move and be like, yeah, I know what I want,
Yes.
and shut that 20-year-old down.
Yeah,
That's probably
yeah.
trying to tell you what you want.
Yeah.
So we were wondering actually if people have like their favorite stores, but it sounds like y'all go to multiples, so you're not a regular at one because you're embarrassed.
We
Is that
kind
true?
of we've kind of decided on Canna Cabana a lot.
Canna Cabana.
Yeah, and well, we live in Milton, so We go to Tokyo Smoke, Canna Cabana.
We go to a bunch of them.
We got a bunch of them.
sounds like it.
Every time we turn around, there's another one. So
Yeah.
You always got something new to try.
Yeah.
I'm a person that likes to be regular.
Yeah,
So you
same.
might have to just accept
Yeah.
that you smoke as much as you smoke or eat as much as you eat, and there's no shame in that. And I would challenge you to destigmatize your own feelings around your consumption, because it's not. And also, as you know, I'm sure a person running a weed store is not like, oh, these fucking people again. They're like, hell yeah, they're back. They're gonna spend so much money. And I think there's something to be said. I have a regular relationship with a bartender at a breakfast bar. I mean, I don't drink in the morning. A lot of people do, though. It's like very fascinating to hear the stories of a breakfast bartender, but she knows what I like. She brings my coffee the way I like it. And in her head, she may be like, this fucking gal is back on eating the waffles again. But it's fine, because I like what I like the way I like it. And if whatever judgment she wants to have in her head, she's completely allowed to have that. So I would challenge you to just find the place you like, become the regular what you like, and then go wherever you want. I think if people do try to weed explain you, Christy's 100% right, but don't you be ashamed about being a regular.
If you find a regular place too, then it's like that's not going to happen, because they know that you know what you like. And then, like, they just have your stuff ready for you when you come in.
Or be like, you liked this, we think you also might like this, and you get good recs.
I like being a regular at places too, because I don't like change. So, but I do like weed stores, because I like to go in and see all the different stuff.
Yes.
And I will say, Canna Cabana, one of my favorite things is like looking at the different labels of things, and all the labels were the same, which I didn't understand. So I don't know why that's relevant to this, but that was just something. I kept saying, I've been robbed of my experience. And they're like, you're smoking a joint. You have not. You just didn't get to see the funny labels. I would become a regular at some place, or, just don't give a shit. No, it's confidence. You know more than any of those people. You can probably work there. You can own it. Open your own. That's
the answer. That's the answer.
Open your own.
Excellent.
And you know what you call it? You call it barbecue.
Smokes.
Barbecue. So, you call it the smoke shop, but it's a barbecue place that also sells weed.
Oh.
It's real barbecue. Yeah.
Texan style.
Texan style.
Thank
Final
you.
ruling. Well, thank you all so much for coming tonight. You've been a fantastic audience.
Thank you.
We've had the best time in Toronto. Everyone has been so welcoming. We will absolutely 100% come back. Everyone here tonight at the Majestic.
At the Royal.
Royal, I'm so sorry. I keep getting them confused. We're at the Majestic. If you're in Detroit tomorrow night, you can come out to the Majestic. Because back home we have both. It's a whole thing in my head. Anyways, everyone here has been so nice tonight. So give them a thank you on the way out. And thank yourselves so much. Give yourselves a round of applause for being the best audience. And as always, the devil rules the airwaves.
Keep it creepy.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
We love providing Sinisterhood to you at no cost, so if you like what you hear, consider supporting the show by donating to our Patreon. We're a small operation, creating the show for you by researching, writing, recording, and producing it ourselves. Any amount is sincerely appreciated and helps offset the cost of making and hosting the show.
As a thank you, you'll also get some sweet perks like ad-free episodes, a Sinisterhood sticker, membership to our exclusive Patreon Facebook group for those enrolling the airwaves and getting into it tiers, a special shout out on the show, a monthly bonus minisode. This month is the Murdoch update, and patron exclusive video and audio content, including Am I the Asshole, relationship advice, Judge Christie, Dear Sinister, true crime headlines, and so much more. We also have videos of our experience at the Lighthouse, as well as our experience at Ohio State Reformatory for you all coming as well. And patrons in our Getting Into It tier are also able to vote on the bonus content segment each month that they would like to see us live stream.
You also have the fun perk of access to our Discord server, where you can connect with other fans in real time and discuss the latest in true crime, share personal ghost stories, or just post adorable pictures of your pets. We hop on occasionally, and we host monthly Q&As on Crowdcast, where you can ask us all your burning questions.
For patrons not in the U.S., you have the option to pay in pounds or euros, saving you the cost of the conversion fee. Annual memberships for all tiers are also now available. Those that select this option will be rewarded with a free month of membership.
For more details on all of this and specific member tiers, visit Sinisterhood.com and click Patreon on the top banner. And make sure you stick around after our sign-offs to hear your shout-out.
So many of you have been tagging us in pictures of you sporting your sweet Sinisterhood merch. Keep those pictures coming. And if you want to get some cool swag like t-shirts, mugs, totes, and even clothes for your kiddos, visit Sinisterhood.com and click on Shop on the top banner.
The best thing you can do to help us grow is like, review, and follow on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast. And please tell a friend who you think would like us to check us out. You can also share any episode by just clicking the 3 buttons at the top, or Heather's created some great Spotify playlists. So just go to Sinisterhood on Spotify. You can share any type of playlist with a friend. They're all categorized. If somebody likes true crime, if somebody likes cryptids or cults, we got you.
Yep, just go to you have to go to Sinisterhood.com/playlists.
It means so much to us and really helps podcasts like us get more exposure.
You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Sinisterhood Pod and like us on Facebook at Sinisterhood. We also have accounts on TikTok and YouTube. Christy, where are you at on the computer?
I am on Twitter and TikTok at Christy or GTFO, and I am on Instagram at Christy M. Wallace. Heather?
I'm on Twitter at MCK versus the world and on Instagram at Heather versus the world.
As always, the devil rules the airwaves.
Keep it creepy. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for supporting the show on Patreon. Here are your special Patreon shout-outs. Abby Nichols.
Tori Bartlett.
Nicole Abia.
Kim LaFoe.
Mars.
Kylie.
Lindy Wyatt.
Marie Helene Paradis.
Catherine Carlson.
Marie New.
Lauren Arendt.
Allison.
Lacey Johnson.
Catherine Davis Johnson.
Siri Underdahl.
Addie.
Liz Mlicka.
Stephanie Villa.
Kirsten Michaud.
Krista Elledge.
Aaron Conti.
Rachel Sauer.
Natalie Stallmock.
A.B.
Alyssa Pyrick.
And Maria Garia. Thank you all so much for supporting the show. We could not do this without you. We sincerely appreciate it. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep it creepy.
Bah, ha, ha.
Sinister.